is an induction. It is an induction of new members via the online platform into the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria. And since the advent of COVID-19, the Institute has adjusted our operation to the new normals, in which today's induction, if I'm not mistaken, will make the 5th or 6th induction / training of members that the Institute is carrying out in the course of this global.
You can mute yourself, Mr. Abubakar.
Yeah, I've done that, sir.
Okay.
Today's induction will make it the 6th induction / training of new members and existing members of the Institute via the online platform since the advent of COVID-19. That is to tell you that the Institute is not sleeping. As things are changing, we are also changing. We are also evolving. That is why it is said that necessity is the mother of all inventions. And that is what this institute is out to achieve. We are not just bringing group of people just to be a member of the institute, but we are trying to bring people, managers, administrators who can think outside the box, who can think beyond the 4 walls of where they presently found themselves, in order for them to bring about the required change and growth to any organization in which they found themselves. You all agree with me today that as at early this year, if we are told that something is going to happen whereby even governance will have to be via virtual platform, birthday will have to be via virtual platform, even wedding and burials will have to be via virtual platform. We will tell the person to go and sit down. He or she does not know what he is talking about. That how can you tell me that burial can be carried out virtually? But here we are today. It's happening. It's now, the reality is now facing us. Yes, COVID-19 might come with various challenges and disadvantages. To me, on my own side, I think the only harm COVID-19 is doing to us in this part of the country is the fact that it's killing some of our vulnerable ones and killing some persons. But the good that COVID-19 has opened Nigeria to, Nigeria and Nigerians to, is far beyond the damages it has caused to us. Before now, our government, both from federal down to state or local level, has never given our health sector the kind of attention is being given today. You all agree with me that if we have been doing things the way it ought to have been done before now, most of our things, sectors which are in comatose today will not be totally affected, such as our educational sector. Few days ago, the Minister of Education, Honorable Minister Adamu, came out and said our SS3 Nigerian students, or let me just put it this way, federal government colleges SS3 students will not be taking part in the forthcoming WAEC because of COVID-19. Apart from that, our tertiary institution as well, down to primary institution, they are all in sleeping mode as we speak now. Not even the Minister of Education can come out with a kind of solution in order to salvage our educational system presently now. And that is because we have not prepared ourselves for the challenges, for the future challenges that might face us, just like what we are facing presently now. If before now, in this part of the world, we have tapped or developed our educational system in such a way that you can even be in your bathroom or in your bedroom, you receive lectures without necessarily going to the classroom for receiving lectures that has nothing to do with practical. I believe by now, some of our higher institutions will not be on compulsory holiday for over 3 months now. That is because we have not embraced the technological advance which other world, other country have embraced before now. You agree with me that some of our fellow Nigerians do go outside to study, and once they just arrive there.
Unmute yourself.
Once they arrive there and they do all necessary registration, some of them will return back to the country and continue with their normal business, but they are still studying via online platform. These are the things that we have not fully tapped into in this part of the world, because we see it as if anything that has to do with online is not it. If it's not something you have to go to the campus, attend classes, see your lecturer face to face, even some of our organizations, they will not even recognize the certificate you are carrying, because we so much believe in the Lord Lugard way, which is the crude ways of carrying out things in this part of the world. But thanks to COVID-19, here we are today. Even though the Minister of Education has not fully come out to design a platform or to deem it fit to tap into the online, to embrace the virtual platform, so that even our tertiary institution and some of those in our secondary institution who have come of age that can make use of the virtual platform can carry out their lectures via the virtual platform, so that life can continue with the new normals, and our educational sectors and our students will not suffer a total loss of a whole academic year in the course of this pandemic. But we believe gradually we shall get there, because as it stands in Nigeria today, no institution, be it federal, state, or private-owned university, even if the private university decide to come out with a formula now that, okay, all the administrative courses, all the management courses that has nothing to do with laboratory exercise should resume and kind of take their lecture via the virtual platform today. You will see even the government will come out and kick against it tomorrow. Though they might see it that by so doing that, the education will only be for those who can afford it. But the truth has to be told that they have to come out with, we cannot just continue like this. So that is one thing. And that is one thing that this institute, the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, in collaboration with our international institute, which is African Institute of Strategic Managers and Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators in Ghana, and that of Chartered Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators in USA, have deemed it fit to do in order to carry out learning, continuous learning for our members and new intending members, irrespective of what we are facing.
Unmute yourself, Mr. Abubakar.
Irrespective of what we are facing presently now. Few days ago, the president of the United States says all the international students will be repatriated to their country since lecture is now via online. But some people found offense in that. Some people found offense in that. Of which, if we also can develop such platform, I don't see any reason why our educational system should suffer this pandemic now, whereby our students will not be able to go back to school. Because as it stands now, even the Minister of Education cannot tell categorically when schools are going to resume. So the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria has now think outside the box by continuing her activities via the online virtual platform. And I want to use this privilege to congratulate those of you who deem it fit to be part of this movement at this crucial time in our life and in the course of our nationhood. Congratulations in advance, and you are all welcome on board. So having done the introduction now, before we proceed to the proper introduction of all the inductees and others of our center's coordinator who are present with us, I want to, the pastor from Redeemed Christian Church of God who is present with us, please, I want you to unmute yourself within the next 2-3 minutes to quickly give us the opening prayer. Thank you, sir.
Which of the reading pastors?
Let
Amen. Yeah.
Unmute yourself. Any of the pastor, you're welcome. Okay.
Amen. Amen. Pastor, please, if you can hear me, please, your mic is off. Kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Call the name, please. What is the name?
Okay.
All right, all right.
Pastor Emmanuel Uruba
Okay.
of the
All
Redeemed
right.
Christian Church of God.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Father, we want to thank you, want to bless your name for today, for your faithfulness in our lives. Want to thank you for your mercy. Even what we are talking about today that leads to this virtual meeting is because of your mercy, because of your grace that has kept us. Father, accept our thanks in the name of Jesus. We want to thank you for the leadership of this organization. We want to thank you for what they are doing, their impact in the lives of people in Nigeria. Father, accept our thanks in the name of Jesus. Father, we ask you, God, we commit this program, Lord, into your hands. We ask you, God, that, Lord, take absolute control. And in the end, let your name be glorified. For in Jesus' mighty name, we are praying.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Pastor Emmanuel, thank you. And we appreciate you for the opening prayer. We appreciate you for the opening prayer. So now we are going to take the introduction one after the other. We are going to take the introduction one after the other. And please, once I call your name, you tell us where you are connecting. You tell us where you are connecting from. Thank you. Though some screen here is not showing the name, it's just showing the name of their phone. So maybe if I should call the name of the device you are using, I believe you know I'm referring to you. So I'm going to start from the Alaja in the house, Latifat Yahaya. Please unmute your microphone and tell us where you are connecting from. Latifat Yahaya, please unmute your microphone and tell us where.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry not to interrupt, but I just to speak for the Muslims in the house. I don't know if they want to say a prayer, if we can move on.
No, we are going to end with the Muslim prayer.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Alhaja, unmute yourself.
I think I've done that. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Latif Yahaya again, connecting from Cross River State, Calabar precisely.
Okay.
You are welcome. You are welcome, ma.
Thank you.
The next person here is Mr. Peter Alonge. Please, if you can hear me, unmute yourself and tell us where you are connecting from. Mr. Peter Alonge.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Peter Alonge. I connect from Owerri in Imo State.
You are welcome, Mr. Peter.
Welcome, sir.
The next person here is Awo Obiaze Nimi. Please, if you can hear me, tell us where you are connecting from, ma.
Yeah, my name is Mrs. Nimi in Agua, Bayelsa State.
You are welcome. The next person is David Oladipo. Please, if you can hear me, enable your video and tell us where you are connecting from. Mr. David Oladipo. Unmute yourself and tell us where you are connecting from, please. All right, the next person, Mr. David Oladipo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am David Oladipo. I'm connecting from Lagos here.
You are welcome. The next person is Akaniyere Umo. Please tell us where you are connecting from, Mr. Akaniyere Umo.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Akaniyere Umo. I'm calling from you, State.
You are welcome, sir, Mr. Umo. The next person on my screen here is Shofola
Thank you very
A.
much.
Shofola A, please tell us where you are connecting from, if you can hear me.
Good morning, everybody. I'm connecting from Abeokuta, Ogun State.
You are welcome, ma. The next person, hello, yeah, we got that. The next person is Mr. Gumel. Mr. Gumel, please unmute your microphone, enable your camera, and tell us where you are connecting from.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohammed Hussein Gumel. I am connecting from the Power State, Niger State.
You are welcome, sir. You are welcome. And the next person on my screen here is Ogechi Igbokwe. Please tell us where you are connecting from. Ogechi Igbokwe.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm actually from Lagos, connecting from Lagos, Ikeja.
You are welcome, ma. The next person here, what is showing on your screen is Pensioner 106.7 FM. Please, if you can hear me, tell us your name and where you are connecting from, please.
Yes, my name is Dr. Babatunde Tiamiyo, Head of Programs, Pensioners FM, Ibadan, Oyo State.
You are welcome, sir. Dr.
Thank you.
Babatunde. The next person here is, what is showing on your screen is Galaxy S8. Galaxy X8, please unmute your microphone and tell us where you are connecting from, if you can hear me.
Good morning, all. My name is Layo Oladeji. I'm connecting from Lagos.
All right, you're welcome. Then the next person on my screen here is, the screen is showing Galaxy J1 Mini. Galaxy J1, please, if you can hear me, unmute your microphone and tell us where you are connecting from. Please unmute your microphone.
Good morning, please.
Good morning.
Unmute yourself, Mr. Ayani.
Unmute your microphone, please.
I have unmuted.
All right, Go ahead, sir. We can hear you now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ayani Shagumayo. I'm connecting from Ofa.
You are welcome, sir. The next person here is Ajayi Oluwaseun. Ajayi Oluwaseun, please tell us where you are connecting from. Mr. Ajayi Oluwaseun, please tell us where you are connecting from.
Move on.
All right, we have The next person here is Sani Funshaw. Please unmute yourself and tell us where you are connecting from. Sani Funshaw. Please unmute yourself and tell us. Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Sonny Funshaw. I'm connecting from Lagos.
You are welcome. We also have Isaac Adelabu. Please unmute yourself and tell us where you are connecting from.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Pastor Isaac Adelabu Adewale, connecting from Ogbomoso in Oyo State.
You are welcome, sir. We have Hassan Ibn Atahir. Please tell us where you are connecting from. Malam Hassan.
Good morning, all.
Good
My name is
morning.
Hassan Ibn Atahir, Sokoto.
You are welcome, sir. We have Paul Okwara. Please unmute your microphone and tell us where you are connecting from, Mr. Paul.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Okwara Oha. I'm connected from Lagos.
We have Unwachuku Uche. Please tell us where you are connecting from. Please unmute your microphone and tell us where you are connecting from. All right, I think it's finding it difficult over there. That is Pastor Unwachuku Uche connecting from Port Harcourt. Is our coordinator representing the institute in River State, Port Harcourt. The next person here is Odera Ozoka. Please, if you can hear me, enable your microphone and your camera so that you tell us where you are connecting from.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Odera from Abuja.
You're welcome, sir. We have David Oladapo. Please tell us where you are connecting from. David Oladapo, if you can hear me, please.
Good morning. My name is Pastor David Oladapo. I'm connecting from Lagos.
You are welcome, sir. The next screen here is showing Infinix Hot 8. Please, if you can hear me, tell us where you are connecting from. Infinix Hot 8. Tell us where you are connecting from, please, if you can hear me. All right, we have Yemi Phillips. Mr. Yemi Phillips, please tell us where you are connecting from. Mr. Yemi Phillips, tell us where you are connecting from, please.
Thank you. My name is Matthew Yemi Phillips. I'm a pastor with the Redeemed Christian Church of God, calling from Abuja.
You are welcome, sir. Okay, and the next screen here is ITEL S33. Madam, please tell us where you are connecting from. Unmute your microphone, please. Unmute your mic. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Barrister Gloria Diete. I'm also a minister with Redeemed Christian Church of God. Thank you.
You are welcome. And the next person here is Ogechi Igbokwe. Please unmute yourself. Ogechi Igbokwe, please unmute yourself and tell us where you are connecting from.
I've actually spoken before.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Then the next screen showing here is Galaxy A10s. Please tell us where you are connecting from. Galaxy A10s, please tell us where you are connecting from. All right, we also have Emmanuel Bayi. Please tell us where you are connecting from, Mr. Emmanuel. Unmute your microphone.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Agbayi. Emmanuel. I'm connecting from Ogun State.
You're welcome, sir. The next screen after that is showing ITEL P12. Please, sir, if you can hear me, tell us where you are connecting from.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
My
morning.
name is John Timbre. I'm calling from Yenagua, Bayelsa State.
You are welcome, sir. We have Dam Alfred Danyang. Please, if you can hear me, tell us where you are connecting from. Dam Alfred Danyang. We have Liadi Dauda. Please tell us where you are connecting from, Mr. Liadi Dauda.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Liadi Dauda Adekunle. I'm calling from Lagos.
You're welcome, sir. Then after that, we have Galaxy Tab A. I think that's the pastor that led us in the opening prayer. Please, once again, tell us where you are connecting from, sir. Your microphone is off. Your mic is off, sir.
Pastor Emmanuel Rupa from the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Enugu.
You are welcome, sir. And we also have present with us, Madam Tessie. Madam Tessie, please tell us where you are connecting from.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello. Good morning, all. I'm connected. My
Hello,
name
go
is.
on. We can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, all. My name is Tessie Ikechi. I'm connecting from Lagos.
You are welcome, Madam Tessie. That's the representative of the Institute in connecting with us from Lagos. We also have on our screen here, Miriam Christopher. Please, Miriam Christopher, tell us where you are connecting from, please.
My name is Miriam Christopher from Niger State.
You're welcome. We also have, what is showing on your screen here, sir, is iPhone. Please tell us where you are connecting from, sir. Unmute yourself and tell us where you are connecting from.
My name is Mohammed Umar. I'm connecting from Adamawa State.
All right, thank you. We also have another iPhone again, please. The second person should unmute himself. Yeah, I can see you smiling. Please tell us where you are connecting from.
My name is Mascot Uzo Carlo. I'm connecting from Abuja.
You are welcome, sir. Then we have Yejide Ogunlewe. Please tell us where you are connecting from.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ogunlewe Yejide, and I'm calling from Lagos State.
You are welcome. We also have Mr. Peter Emuesiri. Please tell us where you are connecting from, sir. Mr. Peter.
My name is Peter Emoisiri Otu. I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria.
You are welcome, sir. We have Right Honorable Opoluko. Please unmute your microphone and tell us where you are connecting from, Honorable, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Right Honorable Opoluko. I'm connecting from Oyo, Akwa Ibom State.
You are welcome, Honorable, sir. We also have Madam Evelyn. Please unmute your microphone if you can hear me and tell us where you are connecting from. Madam Evelyn.
Hello, good morning, all. I'm connecting. My name is Evelyn Okori. I'm connecting from Abia State.
You are welcome, ma. We also have Ukamaka Ben. Please, if you can hear me, unmute your microphone and tell us where you are connecting from.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ukamaka Benedicta Eisenabo. I am connecting from Enugu.
You are welcome, ma. The next screen here is Lukman Bello. Please, if you can hear me, tell us where you are connecting from.
Hello, good morning, all.
Good morning.
My name is Bello Lukman Babarinde. I'm connecting from Lagos.
You are welcome. We also have Dr. Oluwabumi. Please, if you can hear me, Doc, please tell us where you are connecting from.
I'm connecting from Lagos. Bumi Bengalusaya. Good morning.
You are welcome, ma.
Thank you.
We also have Hassan Abdullahi. Please tell us where you are connecting from. Hassan Abdullahi.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hassan Abdullahi. I'm calling from Lagos as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. We also have Irene Tallinn. Please tell us where you are connecting from. Madam Irene Tallinn, if you can hear me, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm connecting from Abuja.
All right, you are all welcome once again. I want to believe that I'm done with the introduction, but if one way or the other I skip your name, please pardon me, because the name is just, the screen is interchanging as more people are connecting, so it's not kind of following one after the other. So please, if by any chance I omit,
Oh, no, you didn't call my name.
please please tell us where you are connecting from.
I'm Fabina Yedeji. I'm connecting from Lagos, Akoka.
You are welcome. Please, any other person?
Yeah, good morning, all.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Engineer DVC Sunday. I'm calling from Benin, Edo.
You are welcome, sir. I think we also have Evangeline Waters. Please, unmute your microphone, Evangeline Waters. Your microphone, ma.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
Evangeline Walters. I'm connecting from Jos.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Oluwatosin Odiansi. I'm connecting from Jos.
All right, you are all welcome on board.
Any other person?
Any other person, please, before we proceed to the next item.
Move on.
All right. All right. In the absence of none, please, I want to crave your indulgence all for us to enjoy this conversation to the fullest. Please, I want everyone to mute his or her microphone. Let all microphone be put on mute for now, so that we'll avoid every unnecessary background noise coming from any angle. Thank you for doing that. Once again, you are all welcome. We have commenced the induction proper, and the next item on our agenda now is going to be the welcome address of the Honorable Registrar of the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, in persons of Dr. Abdullahi Jibril Saliu, who is going to give us his opening address before we go into the business of the day proper. The Honorable Registrar, sir, over to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Abubakar, for the wonderful introduction. We are having the induction proper for new members into the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, cum African Institute of Strategic Managers. I could remember when the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria started in the year 2009, and I was registered as number 001. I told myself then that when God created man, man was alone. And today, we have over 7.8 billion people across the globe, plus the over 7 million that may be given birth to after the corona pandemic. We have been running up and down, helter-skelter, to bring in people that are qualified into the Institute by experience and qualifications. At the moment, in the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, we are over 7,500. We are looking at 10,000 members across the country, after which our bill shall be sent to the National Assembly to make us become a chartered body. By then, membership will no longer be by experience and qualifications, but by examinations. I believe you have a copy of the speech with you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm indeed highly honored and privileged to welcome you to this memorable induction exercise for fellows and membership into the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria. This institute is registered under the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap 59, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1990. I am therefore highly gratified at the response of many distinguished and eminent personages whose contributions and general understanding and conduct assisted in no small measure in view to elevating the Nigerian standard of work environment, compatibly, our ability to improve in our day-to-day administrative and general management of our endeavors. It is in conjunction, therefore, with our modest approach of recognizing an individual or group of individuals whose earnest responsibilities are not done by illusion or center ego on job performance and specifications that today's activity is born. Creditably, our Nigerian managers and administrators are in enviable cadres and canopies all over the world. It therefore suffices to ascertain herein that this much celebrated achievement of Nigerian apparatus are geometrically based on talent of experiences generated from convocations of this nature. One of the things that is not left behind by our leadership is the cognizance ability to honor outwardly, deserving people due praises in their lifetimes and not accolades after their demise. It is therefore a center stage of this institute that a certified manager needs training and retraining in order to be abreast with fundamental experimental dynamos of administrative realities of the time. This, in other words, hastening to elevate the standard of one's ability in juxtaposition with work value anywhere in the world. It is therefore our honor to inform you that the prestigious direct professional membership of the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, whom African Institute of Strategic Managers will be given to deserving men and women whose socioeconomic lives outweigh fire. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here as clusters, which according to Porter are geographically proximate groups of interconnected enterprises and associated institutions in a particular field linked by commonality and complementarity. The synergy driven from this network is what confers competitive advantage to cluster model of industrialization, which is bred from basic understandings as this. What we gather today will be of immense use in actualizing our goals in our various efforts. Having membership of the Institute is a highly colored decoration, as we are having synergy with reputable international fora as this. Members are therefore prone to professional trainings through meetings, seminars, conferences, and other related courses at minimal contributions within and outside Nigeria. Members are also prone to improve and develop the science of management in commerce, industry, and politics by maintaining investigation and research into the application of such entity. Members are equally given the secret of success in business and the study and practice of its ethical principles with a mandate to raise professional practice to its highest. You are therefore entitled to a full color membership certificate given under the approval of the council. We are here together as brothers and sisters, for in that way will our mission statement be actualized. I therefore wish that we pay attention in our overall exercise, for we believe that Nigeria can be facelifted in general administration within her polity by many of us who are seated here today, even as our Nigerian brothers are helping other nations. While congratulating every one of you, distinguished members of this house, I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That is the opening address of the Noble Registrar of the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, who is also double serving as the country director for African Institute of Strategic Managers and Chartered Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of USA. Once again, you are all welcome. We have taken the opening address of the registrar now, and we are about going into the main business of the day, which is the paper review / presentation. I want to believe at this junction that all of us who are connected here today have a copy of the paper already sent to us on effective time management. But before we go into that proper, as a manager, you are expected to, or you are to be the one whose responsibilities of your organization lies on his or her shoulders. And that is why you are referred to as a manager. We believe in Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria that being a manager, you are supposed to be the last that will be fired in every organization, even if it warrants an organization to fold up. Because every decision you take as a manager is going to, in turn, bring about either the growth of your organization or the downfall of your organization. Most especially in the situation where we find ourselves today, many organizations are facing a lot of challenges as a result of COVID-19. Because we believe as a manager that we should be able to think outside the box to be able to handle that situation in which are not foreseen. That situation that can cause harm in our dynamic environment in which we are operating. You all agree with me today that as a result of COVID-19, some organizations will come out strong or stronger from this pandemic, while some at the same time are going to fold up. That is just the plain truth. So for any organization who is going to survive and you found yourself in a position of leadership in that organization or parastatus, the decision in which you are going to make in that organization will determine whether that organization will be able to survive this hard time in which we have. Whether we like it or not, recession is already smiling at us, or rather, we are already in recession. The economy is already in recession. And the ability to come out with a stronger policy to navigate through this hard time in which we are now, that is what makes you a professional manager. That is what differentiates you from every other manager. Because as a leader or as a decision maker, wherever you found yourself, you should be able to think outside the box, if possible, charter the box so that you can see different options that are available to you in which you can choose from. So today, we are going to talk extensively on effective time management, because as a result of COVID-19, how we can manage the little time available to us, the little resources, and with the little time in order to navigate our organization out of the recession and the pandemic facing us at the same time is responsibility. It's a responsibility lying on every decision maker in every businesses or organizations, whether we like it or not. And here in Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators, we have a mantra which says that as a manager, you are expected to think outside the box, because if you fail to think, you start thinking, and at the same time, before you know, you sink. Because once one stops thinking, it becomes like a stagnant water in a particular place. And within a period of time, once there is a stagnant water in a particular place, before you know, that water starts thinking. And as a result, that particular place will start sinking at the same time. So if you don't have the ability to think outside the box in order to embrace yourself or embrace yourself with the present economic situation or present managerial dynamo of this time we found ourselves now, before you know, you are going to way out and your service will no longer be needed. Even if it's your own personal business, if you don't take the right decision that you are supposed to take, your business will suffer. That's just the honest truth. And that is why in Nigeria today, we find it difficult to see any businesses that have existed over 100 years. I'm talking about Nigerian-owned business, be it government business or individual Nigeria business that have existed over 100 years. If you know of any, you can quote me wrong. Why? It's not as if with the whites or those multinational companies who have established in Nigeria for over 100 years, it's not as if they have anything special that they are doing. It's as a result of them having the right decision and having the right people at the right place at the right time. Not by you using what we term father, brother, or uncle relationship, whereby a job that you know that somebody is not qualified for because he has a letter from the above, or he has somebody or is your relative, you just want to put him there. At the end of the day, whether you like it or not, the result will tell. That's just the honest truth. So without taking you on a lecture before lecture, at this junction now, the registrar is going to take us through the induction topic of today on effective time management. We all have equal time, but how can we manage this available time, which is 24 hours that is accrued to you and I? It's not as if the Dangotes of today, the Mark Zuckerberg, it's not as if the Bill Gates, they have 100 hours in a day. No, they have the same 24 hours that is accrued to you and I. But how can we utilize and manage this time is what we are going to talk about today. Not just managing and utilizing the time, also to how we can navigate
through the storm.
Get through this difficult time, through this recession time, and this pandemic time that is facing us. Mr. Registrar, sir, over to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abubakar, for giving us the preambles. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, well, this is a part of the pre-induction course. We are to review the paper titled Effective Time Management. Before that, I would like us to know let us know what we should do as professional managers. Who can tell me who the first management consultant on earth was? You can unmute yourself and tell me, who was the first management consultant on earth? Yes. Who was the first management consultant on earth?
God the Father, God Almighty.
You can mute yourself now. Let another person try.
The father-in-law of Moses.
Wow, wow, wow. And what was the name of the father-in-law?
Jethro.
Jethro.
Yeah.
Okay, a round of applause. Is the man a pastor? Are you a pastor, sir?
Yes.
Because it's here in the Bible. The father-in-law of Moses. He came and met Moses operating as a one-man manager. Moses was running things alone. 365 days, no leave, no transfer. It was then he advised that why don't you choose among men leaders? Teach them laws and ordinances. Let them be adjudicating over lesser matter while you'll be there giving approvals. That advice turns out to be the first advice given by the first management consultant on earth, Jethro. You can see that he has taken care of the modern and traditional functions.
Please, let's exercise patience a little bit for him to check his connection. This is one of the challenges of the internet here in this part of the world.
Okay, okay.
Mr. Registrar, sir,
Yeah.
your microphone
Yes,
is
yes.
moved.
It's on now. It's on. So that advice, turns out to be the first advice given by the first management consultant on earth, Jethro. He has taught us all the modern and traditional functions of management: planning, budgeting, staffing, and what have you. So we are going to discuss that in the course of our today's presentation.
Please, sir.
Yeah?
Mr. Registrar, sir, please, can you take that over again?
Okay.
Because the network was fluctuating.
Okay.
I believe they have missed.
Okay. Are you getting it now? Hello? So, Mr. Abubakar. Unmute yourself. So that is the story of Moses and Jethro. He came and met Moses operating as one-man manager, just the way some of our managers are operating till date. 365 days, no leave, no transfer. So he noticed that if he continued that way, he will wear out easily, get home and become useless to the wife. It was then he called him that, look, son-in-law, choose among men leaders, teach them laws and ordinances. Let them be adjudicating over lesser matter while you will be dealing with approvals. That advice turns out to be the first advice given by the first management consultant on earth, Jethro. A professional manager is like the hub that rolls the wheel. Without him, all other managerial functions are useless. We must have the little knowledge of everything as managers. At times, we are the last to be fired in any organization. At times, we die with the organization. That is why we must have the little knowledge of everything. As professional managers, we must understand that resources are scarce and how resources can be allocated optimally should be our utmost priority. We must understand the aims, like the men machines, money, materials, methods, and the market. The men has to do with the people working with you. They should have the technical know-how, experience, and exposure. You should get the right people to do the right job. It has to be based on the merit, not what I term the grandfather-father-son relationship. You must get the right people to do the right job. It's like putting a round peg in a round hole and a square peg in a square hole, not as a result of what I term the grandfather-father-son relationship. Man, no man. You must understand their attitude and behaviors. You should believe that no two people behave the same way. See how you can get the best result out of them. That shows as a good leader, you must make people to do things willingly for you without using force on them. The machines, which is one of the M also we should look into. As a professional manager, your machines has to be in line with modern applications, modern specifications. We're in the 21st century and you are still using machines of 18th century. Machines that are archaic in nature. We're in the world of competition. There are people that are not ready to go to bed until you are already sleeping. That is why you must sleep with one eye closed. You have to understand what is going on out there. Always do what we call benchmarking. Things that will give you comparative advantage over your competitors. Things that will give you comparative advantage over your competitors. Do the first thing first and all the time. Total quality management. Your machines have to be in line with modern specifications. Another is M, you have to manage as a professional manager, has to do with money. Money answereth all things. That is according to the Bible. Then the Quran is also telling us that al-malu wal-banuna zinatul hayata dunya, that money and children are the beauty of this world. That is to tell you that the life wire of every organization is finance. That is why the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 1990 stated that all information that will assist users of financial statement in assessing the viability, profitability of a company must be stated in a clear, logical, and understanding manner for users of accounting information. Because in every business, we have what we call stakeholders that are interested in the business. The employees are there for salaries, wages, and other personnel costs. Providers of capital are also there for dividends and interest. Government is also interested in our business for tasks. Then the business itself for maintenance and expansion. That is why, as a professional manager, you must understand the flow of funds in and out of your enterprise, how the cash is generated and utilized. The cash flow system. You must understand how the cash is generated and utilized. Another resource which you have to manage as a professional manager is that of materials, which we have 3 stock levels in the warehouse. There's maximum level, there's reorder level, and there's minimum level. The reorder level is the level which you must always initiate action for fresh supply. That is the point, not going up and not coming down. The break-even point. For you to be at the margin of safety, you must operate at the reorder level. Don't allow it to go up to the point that you tie down your capital, or to come down to push you out of the business. Operate at that point, which you must always initiate action for fresh supply. Then the minimum level is the level which you must not allow your stock to fall below. If you are a professional manager and you allow your stock to go below the minimum level, then you are out of business. Just like the issue of COVID-19 now, it has affected a lot of businesses. So many things are in comatose. Many things in the country now are in sleeping mode. They are in total lockdown, including education. That is why don't allow yourself to operate at that level. Because when you operate at a minimum level, there could be loss of goodwill, loss of customers, idle production. It can even lead to the closure of your entity. Remember, I told you earlier, competitors are there watching you. They are not going to bed until you're already sleeping. That is why you must understand what is happening around you, what your competitors are doing out there. Just like the time Econet started their GSM operation in Nigeria, they made us believe with MTN that time that per second billing was not feasible. Not until Glo came on board and told us that, look, we are enrolling and we are starting, and the billing will be by second. That was when they now decided to join them. Because you always have to understand your competitors, do what we call benchmarking, things that will give you comparative advantage over your competitors. Don't operate at a minimum level. That will lead you to it will lead your business to close down, loss of goodwills, idle production, loss of customers. Your customers will move to your competitors and not all of them that will return back to you. Excuse me. If you are that manager that operates at minimum level, you can see that for over 3-4 months now, most goods can no longer come into the country. You cannot get supplies from international environment. What will you do? That shows that your competitors will now have an edge over you. Then the maximum level is the level which you must not allow your stock to rise above, because it has disadvantages, like tying down your capital, increase in the cost of warehousing, privileges, breakages, and what have you. As a professional manager, you can now see that we are the hub. We are the hubs that rolls the wheel. Without us, all other managerial functions are useless. We are the last to be fired in any organization. At times, we die with the organization. Let us come back to the theme of today's induction, which is effective time management. And since we are doing the review, a video has been sent out earlier. I want us to cover these 7 areas in the paper. What is time management? Let us understand what time management is. Who is time management for? Is it time management or self-management? Let us understand that. Time management principles. Let us look at the principles of time management. Then the reasons why time management is important. Why is time management important? Why should it be applied to your organization? Then we also have the Ds of time management, which you have to invoke. Invoke the power of 4 Ds for you to be to perform optimally. Then we are going to look at the SMART or SMARTER acronym, because any job you are out to do must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be realistic, it must have a time bound which can be evaluated and reviewed. Then we are going to understand what time mapping is before we conclude for the day, because I've been given 50 minutes to 1 hour, but I will plead to have additional time. But let us start now. Let us manage our time as managers. Let us stop procrastinating after today. Don't suspend or postpone something that will become problematic to you at the end of the day. Let us see how far we can go. What is time management? We all have the same amount of time. That is 24 hours per day. As such, good time management is about making the best of the time available to you. This also means using your time to help you attain both your short-term and long-term goals. stress is a huge problem in this society, and being in control of your own time is a sure way of helping you manage the stress you face every day. Knowing what you are doing and when then having enough time to do each activity will go a long way to help you reduce stress. Managing time effectively entails analyzing your goals. You have to analyze your goals. What are you out to achieve? If you are a manager and you have goals that cannot be analyzed, such a task is dead on arrival. Breaking those goals into tasks and then prioritizing those tasks. This isn't always easy or clear-cut, given the number of tasks you may need to complete. But if you set clear and measurable goals and then develop an effective to-do list, you will find prioritizing your many tasks is easier. And in the end, you will manage your time better. This course focuses on ways to prioritize our workload. It discusses how we prepare a useful to-do list and prioritize the item on it. It also outlines how to sequence and queue tasks to help improve your time management. Finally, it describes how to estimate time frames so you can schedule your tasks effectively and meet your deadlines. Materials designed to support blended learning activities aligned with this course are available from the resource page. Time management is useless the minute your schedule is interrupted. You can see that is the first point for us to note as professional managers. Once you allow yourself to be distracted, there is no how you can manage your time meaningfully. Time management becomes useless the moment your time is distracted. Our productivity is often affected by short-term distractions, such as our ideas, obligations, and interruptions. To have stress-free productivity, we need our minds to be clear and relaxed. Most people neglect important things in their life while trying to accomplish their day-to-day goals. What is time management? Time management refers to the way that you organize and plan how long you spend on specific activities. The way you plan how long to spend on specific activity shows how good you are at managing your time. It has to do with the way you organize and plan the time to be spent on a specific or particular activity. Time management isn't just about getting things done or being productive. It's about focusing on meaningful work too. It may seem counterintuitive to dedicate precious time to learning about time management instead of using it to get on with your work, but the benefits are enormous. If you manage your time perfectly, there is a greater productivity and efficiency. You do things, you'll be more productive because you planned your time on what to do and how to do. You have prioritized them, and the superordinate goals of the organization will be achieved. A better professional reputation. When you manage your time, you don't get stressed. Increase opportunities for advancement because you free up more time to go into the unknown and get the best out of that for your organization. Greater opportunities to achieve important life and career goals. Failing to manage your time effectively can have some very undesirable consequences. Missed deadlines, inefficient workflow, poor work quality, poor professional reputation and stalled career, higher stress level. Spending a little time learning about time management techniques will have huge benefit now and throughout your career. You can see that if you manage your time, you are able to plan what to do, organize and prioritize your task. The sky will be your starting point and not your limit. Then let us go straight to the principles. principles of time management. Principle number 1 has to do with principle of planning. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When you fail to plan, you stink. And when you stink, you sink. You have to plan. Plan what you are to do. When am I going to do it? And how do I get it done? What are the resources that will go with job accomplishment? You have to understand if that is in parity with what you are out to achieve. One of the worst things that you can do is wake up without a plan for the day. That is one of the worst things you can do. Wake up without a plan for the day. Instead of focusing on what needs to be done, you wander aimlessly and take care of more trivial matters. That is why you should always plan ahead using one of these options. The night before you leave work for the day, spend the last 15 minutes organizing your office and composing a list of your most important items for tomorrow. First thing in the morning, during your morning routine, write down the 3 or 4 most urgent and important matters that need to be addressed today and work on those when you are most productive. Spend your money on MITs. According to Mark Twain, he once said, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. If it is your job to eat a frog, kindly do that in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. If it is your job to eat a frog, eat it in the morning. And if it is your job to eat 2 frogs, then you have to eat the biggest one first. Sure, but the point that Twain was making, that you should take care your biggest and most challenging task in the morning. Your most important task, that is the MIT's most important task. You can note that down because it's not in our presentation. MIT's most important task. Always identify that as a manager. What is your most important task? That is what Mark Twain is trying to tell us here. If it is our duty to eat frog, we should eat that frog in the morning. And when we have to eat 2 frogs, look for the biggest one. Eat that one first. It's trying to tell us to take care of our most important task. That is the MIT. Spend your money on MITs. That is when you have that energy. There is zeal. You are already rejuvenated to do more. Go ahead and eat that big frog in the morning. There are a couple reasons why this such an effective time management tricks. For starter, you usually have the most amount of energy in the AM, that is in the morning. So it's better to tackle this task when you are not drained. Also, you can use that feeling of accomplishment to get through the rest of the day. So you can see that planning, you have to plan. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When you fail to plan, you stink. And when you stink, you sink. You can also use planning is always important. No matter what you do, take a few minutes in the morning to plan your activities for the day. It's in line with the MITs. Make the use of your most important task. For a hectic schedule, minimize distractions as much as possible, because the moment you allow yourself to be distracted, time management becomes useless. Consider the following important things when using a planning tool. Record all the information on your tool only. Review your planning tool every day. Always carry your planning tool with you. Make a list of your priorities on the tool and stick to it. If you are using an electronic planner, synchronize it with your computer and recharge the batteries of the planner regularly. Ensure that you get a backup system for your planning tool. At the end of each day, invest a few minutes to quickly make a list of things to be done the following day in your mind. And make sure that when you resume the following day, if you are to eat frog, eat the biggest one first. That is the most important task. The MITs should be taken care of. The second point here is organize and prioritize. Organize and prioritize. Organize and prioritize. The most fundamental premise of effective time management is differentiating what is important and what is urgent. Not that the most important tasks are not the most urgent tasks, and vice versa. The problem is most of us let urgent tasks dominate our lives, but experts suggest that though both urgent and important tasks can be done together, one must first focus on the important ones, regardless of their urgency. Focusing on what you want to accomplish will give you full control over your time. The easiest way to prioritize our task is to make a to-do list on daily, weekly, or monthly basis, depending on your lifestyle. What they are telling us here is to organize and prioritize. We have to organize our tasks, prioritize them into the important and the urgent, the important ones and the urgent ones. The important ones and the urgent ones. The urgent ones have to be taken care of first, then followed up by the important ones. Don't procrastinate. Don't postpone the urgent, the important tasks to such a time that it becomes problematic before you start running helter-skelter. That will be counterproductive. Organize and prioritize. Then the third principle here is the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule, which is known as the Pareto Principles. The 80-20 rules, also known as the Pareto Principles. The 80-20 rule, when applied to work, means that approximately 20% of your work produces 80% result. So you should focus that 20% on making the most effective use of your time. That is a Pareto principle. 80%, 20% of result produces 80% of output. This really became clear to me when I learned about Vilfredo Pareto. Pareto was an Italian economist who became famous for his 80-20 rule. This is now commonly called the Pareto Principles. He first discovered this rule when he found that 80% of a nation's wealth was controlled by 20% of the population. As he studied this phenomenon more deeply, he found a disproportionate relationship between cause and effect in other areas of life, including real estate, growing crops, and all sorts of things. 20% of input create 80% of results. 20% of workers produces 80% of results. 20% of the customers create 80% of revenue. Sorry, there's a power outage here. %20 of customers create 80% of revenue. Excuse me. %20 of the roads cause 80% of the crashes, and so on. In my deep dives into marketing psychology, I've found this 80-20 rule to hold true for almost all areas of business, including sources of income, leads, customer service problems, reasons customers buy, activities in your business that produces a result. So that is a Pareto Principle. Identify your most important task and follow these 5 steps. Think about the outcome you expect. What are you out to achieve? Break it down into actions required to get the job done. Do the action with complete dedication and in the most accurate order you can. Apply the 80-20 rule on all tasks on your to-do list to boost your efficiency. Like in the areas of advertising now, you notice that the 80-20 rule has to come in too. In the areas of meeting up with schedules in the organization, the 80-20 rules have to come in. At times when you do marketing, you advertise a product, it's not the 100% of people that show the interest that will become customers. You notice that from your 100% is the 20% that will come out. And out of that 20%, that 20% will now give 80% 80% performance. So that is what Pareto is telling us. The first principle is for us to plan. If you are able to master principle number 1, you plan accurately, have a to-do list of what is to be done, and the sky will be your starting point. Then you organize and prioritize by understanding your urgent and important tasks. The urgent tasks need to be accomplished first, followed up by the important ones. Then the third one is the 80-20 rules, which is the Pareto Principle, according to Vilfredo Pareto. Then the fourth principle now is telling us to do one thing at a time. Do one thing at a time. Don't be master of all. Don't be jack of all trade, because when you are jack of all trade, you become master of none. You have to do one thing at a time. If you have a task, accomplish that one first before you move on to another one. Don't try to be multitasking, or else you end up achieving nothing. We all try to do too much all at once and end up achieving almost nothing. The people who try to accomplish multiple goals at a time were less dedicated and had the fewer chances to succeed than those who keep themselves focused on a single goal at a time. Successful people concentrate on just one thing at a time as far as possible. Because by the time you want to do many things at a time, you end up having problems. But what they are telling us here as principle number 4 is to do one thing at a time. Accomplish that is on your table first, the important and the urgent task. That urgent task should be accomplished first. Don't model up the urgent together with the important ones. You know, the important ones are not the most urgent task. So finish up with the urgent ones. Don't procrastinate the important tasks to such a time that it becomes problematic for you to do. You also have to follow up that one, because the important task today can become the most urgent task tomorrow. Don't play with time, because there's no time at all. You have to manage yourself perfectly. When we try to be multitasking, that's at hand, takes more time, and we become less productive. As we feel pressured, we start thinking about other unimportant things, such as what to buy for the party, argument with colleagues. It eventually turns into stress and keep us from completing our tasks by time and efficiently. As Rob Bransman, a psychologist and mindfulness coach, says, when you speak, speak. When you listen, listen. Don't do the two at the same time. When you speak, if you have to speak, speak. And if you have to listen, listen. Because a good leader must also be a good listener. Practice doing one thing at a time, and eventually it will become your normal routine. That is the fourth principle. Do one thing at a time. The fifth one is avoid distractions. Remember earlier I told you that once you allowed yourself to be distracted, time management becomes useless. You have a task, you have a deadline to crack, and you must be focused. Anything less than that is not acceptable. Avoid distractions. Even the Bible said it, that if your hands will cause you sorrow, cut it off. That friend that will distract you from accomplishing your task, you do away with that friend. If it is your Facebook account, you resume work in the morning, instead of you to be focused, you are now moving from one friend to another. You have to be focused. Don't receive that call that will distract you. Don't pick that call. If possible, put your phone on silent mode. In Western world, what they do is they switch it straight to voicemail. If you have a message, drop it there. You are not expected to be making calls during working hours. Avoid distractions. You sit at the desk with determination in mind to complete a task, no matter what. As you turn on your laptop, you notice a friend's message on Facebook or text on your phone and forget about that important task. That distractions can make you to forget that important task. And it will be counterproductive to your organization. When distractions happen, and it's hard to avoid them, it's really challenging to stay focused on a task for hours at a time. But the practice can help you achieve the same. First, identify internal or external distractions. You have to identify distractions and see how it affects you. You have to identify internal or external distractions. And pinpoint their cause. It could be tiredness, lack of skills. Find the cause and fix it. Because when you are tired, you'll be distracted. There could be job burnout as a result of physical stress, emotional stress, psychological stress, and what have you. That is why, as a leader, a manager that is under you, that has been performing before, get to a particular time, you start having problems, you need to counsel such a person. Understand his problems. See how you can meet up by assisting to achieve his personal goals to ensure that the superordinate goals of the organization is achieved. Common tips to avoid distractions. Put down your phone. Put down the phone that will distract you. Now, most people are involved in playing one game to the other. So you may end up wasting time without you knowing it. If that is what will make you not to reach a promised land, do away with that. Put down your phone. Constant unscheduled phone calls and messages are common distractions. So switch off your mobile phone and forward your work phone to voicemail. That is what I have done now. Before I start before we started this program, I decided to put down my phone because if I allow that, many calls will be coming in and I will be distracted. There is no how I can perform optimally if I'm distracted. Time management becomes useless the moment you allowed yourself to be distracted. That is why they are telling us one of the tips here to avoid distraction is to put down your phone. Another one is close your web browser. Admit it that you are into social media as there are serious distractions. Gather your willpower, log off your social media profile, and close the screen down. If you can do that, it shows how good you are as a manager trying to manage his or her time. Then wear headphones. If you work sitting in a cubicle, wear noise cancelling headset to make the world a quiet and peaceful place. There are some phones where you don't allow them to ring out. because it can even wake the dead up. So that is why you have to conceal. Somebody's already laughing. Don't allow your phone to distract people, please. Conceal that noise. Make the world a quiet place. That you know, at times we can. In those days, it's just now that we can no longer identify Chinese phone. In those days, by the ringing tone, you can easily say this is a Shinko. But they have really come of age now. They are evolving too, and they have done a very wonderful job. So we can no longer differentiate them. But don't distract people. Take a break too. Taking break is also good. After every interval, you pause. Do one or two things. All work and no play makes somebody a dull person. So you have to, even when you are driving and you are traveling maybe for 10 to 15 hours, it's good to pause at every interval. Stretch yourself, freshen up, so that when you come back again, you can perform optimally. Then the sixth point here is delegation. Delegation. You have to delegate to your subordinates. Delegate to people who can do the job perfectly. Effective delegation begets effective succession plan. When you delegate to subordinate, such subordinate will be happy doing your job. And they will be aspiring to be in your position when you no longer be in the organization. Effective delegation begets effective succession plan. You delegate to subordinate. And by so doing, you free up time. You free up more time for yourself to go into the unknown and explore. Delegation and outsourcing can get a bit tricky. For some, it's hard to let someone else do work that they used to do. For others, they don't have the time to train someone else to complete certain tasks. The thing is, delegating or outsourcing are real-time savers, since it lessens your workload, which means you have more time to spend on more important tasks or doing less work. Either hand over responsibilities to team members who are qualified or hire an experienced freelancer. And if you do decide to do in-house training, the initial investment will be worth it in the end. You have to delegate to your subordinates. Delegate. You know, we have different style of leadership also. The laissez-faire approach is here. The delegative and the participative style is also there. And the autocratic style. The delegative style has to do with MBO, and MBO begets MBC. That is management by objective, which was propounded by Peter Drucker. He believes that everyone in the organization is important, from the managing directors, board of directors, down to the cleaners. So bringing them together on a round table to discuss the next level for the organization. And by so doing, every one of the staff will feel belong, will feel kind of important. And it will make them to work as if there will be no tomorrow. Effective delegation begets effective succession plan. That is why a good leader should be one that will make people to do things willingly without coercing them to do it. But the other style of leadership is that of autocratic. An autocratic leader is a leader that is interested in the outcome, not the process. How you go about achieving a task is not his fucking problem. What is interested is the outcome. What have you done? What is the end result? That is what an autocratic leader is out to look for. But at times when we ask people, which style of leadership do you prefer? You know, the laissez-faire approach is not practiced in this part of the world. The autocratic, the other ones, well, if you ask somebody which style will be preferable, somebody will tell you that, no, it's not good to be autocratic. And somebody will tell you, yes, I have to be autocratic. But the best approach is for you to be a situational leader. As a situation happens, that shows the style of leadership you adopt. If you have enough time to play with, you can decide to align with the MBO, which begat MBC. You can decide to use a delegative and participative approach. But a situation where you have a deadline to crack, what will you do? That is when you have to use the autocratic style. That time you'll be dishing out orders. Nothing to discuss, no time to waste, and you are out to achieve results. That is when someone you know very well in the organization will greet you good morning, and you ask him what is good about the money, because you want results. That is why you delegate to subordinates. And those subordinates will be happy doing your job. They'll be aspiring to be in your position when you are no longer in the organization. But in delegation, we don't delegate our total managerial functions to subordinates. Don't do that. Because when you delegate your total managerial functions to subordinate, that subordinate will feel indispensable. You start using that to step on toes in the organization, which is not good. Delegation means identifying if some of your tasks can be handled by others. Identify if some of your tasks can be handled by others, and assigning those tasks to someone else. By so doing, you free up some of your time that you can give to other core activities. Select appropriate persons who can assist you by sharing your responsibilities in the best possible way. They should have appropriate skills, interest, experience, and authority required to accomplish the task. There's principle number 7 here. Keep yourself healthy and stress-free. The care you give to your body will help you rejuvenate mentally. You have to rejuvenate, and you do that when you rest. You have enough rest. Sleep very tight. In Japan, we have what we call the 8-8-8 formulas. 8 hours for your paid employment, 8 hours for your PPs, private practice, another 8 hours for family and to have enough rest. 8 hours for your paid employment, you do that in the office, concentrate on the jobs, make sure that the aims and objectives of any task given to you is achieved. 8 hours for your private practice. I usually tell people that the very day you start working should be the day you plan for your retirement. Don't wait until you are 30, 35, or about to be retired before you start looking for what to do. Always think outside the box as professional managers. If possible, charter the boss. That is why you have to be a conceptual thinker. Be creative and be initiative. Think outside the box. The 8-8-8 as practiced in Japan, 8 hours for your paid employment. You go to work, you spend 8 hours. There's no time for nonsense. Then another 8 hours for your PPs, which is your private practice. Plan what to do, things that will add value to your earnings. At least even if you are a civil servant, you are allowed to farm. You have to do that. Do something to add value to what you are earning. Because the worst thing to happen to a man is to wait for 30 whole days before you get a salary. And when it comes, a lot of factors will determine what you do. And it won't, you will never be happy. While that one is coming, also plan your another 8 hours for your PPs, private practice. You can decide to have a cassava farm. You can decide to open a family business. At least by the time you are not in the office, you attend to the needs of that business. Get the right people to do the job for you, which you will be supervising from time to time. Then the other 8 hours is for your families. At least you should be able to attend to the children, know what they have done in school, your madam, your wife, you know what she is coming up with. At least that is when you can plan about the children, about the upkeep, and so many other things. And from that 8 hours, you attend to one, you can use 1 or 2 hours to attend to your friends. Like 1 hour for your family at home, then you can have at least a 5 hours sleep. When you do that, you will be healthy and stress-free. You don't work like Moses. Moses was operating as a one-man manager. He was running things alone. 365 days, no leave, no transfer. Not until Jethro, the father-in-law, visited him. It was then he observed the style Moses was using. He called him son-in-law. If you continue this way, you wear out easily. You go home and become useless to my daughter. Why not choose among men leaders? Teach them laws and ordinances. Let them be adjudicating over lesser matter, while you, Moses, will be giving approvals. That advice turns out to be the first advice given by the first management consultant. It has taken care of planning, budgeting, staffing, directing, leading, and what have you. Keep yourself healthy. Then the principle number 8 is for you to learn to say no. Learn to say no. You can see the diagram there. No. No. Learn to say no. Are you saying no now? Not when you want to say no, you end up saying yes. You are giving yourself problems, troubles. Not that you should not be arrogant in saying no. You have to say it in a polite way. Make the person giving you, overburdening you with tasks to understand that you have to do the most important, the most urgent task first before coming to the important task. Except where you have people under you that you can delegate tasks to. Anything short of that, you are inviting trouble, because the same person giving you that job will be the one to complain against you tomorrow. You tell the upper echelons that you are not effective. Learn to say no. I know that you don't want to upset anyone, but you can only handle so much. If you already have a full plate, then decline that dinner invitation or helping your colleagues on the project until you have the spare time. Always learn to say no when you know you are overwhelmed. Being a yes man or woman can lead to you getting too much on your plate and becoming overwhelmed with work. This does no good for anyone. You will be stressed, and your manager will most likely complain about you getting the work done on time or in an adequate manner. Knowing that it is perfectly okay to say no to tasks you feel overwhelmed by. Then the point number 9 now, which is the 9th principle, make realistic schedule. Remember, you must have a to-do list, and by so doing, you understand the urgent and the important task. The urgent task has to be taken care of, followed by the important task. And remember, don't procrastinate. Don't postpone that important task to such a time it becomes a problem. It becomes urgent for you to do. Plan your schedule before the week starts. Don't strive for perfection, as nobody in the world is perfect. Instead, focus your effort on being excellent and don't worry about things that you can't control or handle. As professional managers, we cannot always control the weather. We cannot control the storm. But we can build a ship that will navigate through the storm in all weather conditions. The time management principles to live by. Whether you have started to manage your time or are just trying to excel at the time management effort, The above principles are sure to help you excel at your goal. Start with proper planning, then move on to organize and prioritize your task according to the situations. Here you can utilize the 80-20 rule to focus on what is important. The 80-20 rule, the Pareto Principle, 20% of input will create about 80% result. Learn to say no to tasks which are not important. Also make sure you do one thing at a time, avoid distractions, and keep yourself healthy and stress-free. The final important point is to make sure you find the difference between commitment and interest. Doing things that are interesting to you will make time spent far more enjoyable. Then reasons why time management is important. Let us go to the reasons without touching the preambles. It improves self-discipline. When you manage your time very well, you do things at the right time. It's like putting a square peg in a square hole and a round peg in a round hole. Reason number 2, it improves the quality of your work. You schedule a time, and by learning to do one thing at a time, you have not tried to multitask yourself, then you achieve success. Reason number 3, winding down is essential. Know when to, at least winding down. Between work, family, commitment, and running errands, most of us don't get enough time to rest. If you want to have enough time to unwind, relax, and prepare for the following day, good time management skills are essential. You have to learn how to delegate. You have to plan. You have to organize and prioritize. You have to at least avoid distractions and so many other principles we have touched earlier. Then it reduces stress also. That is reason number 4. When you delegate to subordinates, at least you free up more time. There's no how you can be stressed. You always be sound and be healthy to do more. Reason number 5, it opens up new possibilities. You delegate to subordinate, you free up more time to explore into the unknown. You get things done. Reason number 6, helps your personal relationship. Remember the 8-8-8 as practiced in Japan. The 8 hours for the family. At least everybody will feel will be carried along. Not a situation where you be telling everybody you are busy. You don't have time for your friends. You don't have time for your families. You have to plan that time. Remember, we have equal amount of time, which is 24 hours. But the issue here is not even, I'm not seeing it as time management. I'm seeing it as personal management. You have to manage yourself. Because by this time management, that is when you can know when to do things. You plan accordingly. Reason number 7, improves your career. Since you have much time to go into the unknown, you can explore and come up with new ideas. Because as a professional manager, you are a conceptual thinker. Always think outside the box. If possible, chatter the box. Reason number 9, you can accomplish more. When you have, you are not stressed, you have a sound mind, you know how to say no to the tasks that you feel overwhelmed by, then there is no reason why you cannot do more. Reason number 10, it stops you from missing opportunities because you do things on time. Then let us move straight to, we have taken care of the 3rd point. Then let us go straight to the 4 Ds of time management. 4 Ds. Time management skills are increasingly important in a world where people rush headlong from one crisis to another, and in the effect of social media and addictive computer games that can be accessed from anywhere at any time. And it's no wonder that some people struggle to fit everything into their days. If you are wondering how to solve this, why not invoke D to the power of 4? This quick and simple method Make sure you use your time more effectively by sorting tasks into 4 categories. You sort tasks into 4 categories, which is delete, defer, delegate, and do. Just do it. If you can invoke the power of these 4 Ds as a professional manager, you can manage your time perfectly. Delete. Remember, I told you earlier, if you are distracted, time management becomes useless the moment you are distracted. Anything that will distract you, delete that thing. If it is your hands that will cause you sorrow, cut it off. If it is your friends, those that will take you to joint, when you are supposed to be working something meaningful, do away with those friends if they will not understand you. There are so many things you can do. You can't serve 2 masters at the same time. You must be ready to lie to one. So you have to learn how to delete. You delete those things that will distract you. There is nothing more calming than crossing a task off the list. That is what we do when the task in question is neither important nor urgent. If a task is neither important nor urgent, delete that task. It is not for you. It will confuse you and it will distract you. Delete irrelevant emails on your inbox. Many of us does that. I've done that today. When I flip through, I can easily say this, Sorry. I cannot understand that due to that interruption, my speaker has been muted. Sorry about that. Let me go back a little. That is the power of 4Ds. You have to delete that job that is neither urgent nor important. Do away with that task. You delegate to a subordinate who can assist in doing your job. By so doing, you free up your time. That is the second D. The first D, you delete. While the second one, you delegate. We have talked much more on delegation. The third D here, you defer. You defer that task that is not urgent. Go ahead and do the urgent ones first. Then the other ones that are not the important ones can be deferred. But don't defer that important task to such a time it becomes problematic for you to do. Like you can see now, the first D here, you delete. If your hands will cause you sorrow, cut it off. The second is to delegate. You can see now that I was reminded through phone because someone else has been delegated to call my other line, in case anything happens. Because he's also there as a spectator watching us. And that assignment has been delegated to him because I cannot hear myself. And anything goes wrong, immediately alerted me. And I have to make corrections. So you delegate. Make sure whoever you delegate the task to have the skill, the capacity, ability, and time to get it done by the deadline. Then the third this in D here is defer it. Defer. Prioritize. Note that accomplishing certain tasks can be deferred to a later time. Look through your plan of action for the day and decide which task needs immediate attention. No matter how much you have on your plate, it is important to deal with the most urgent ones first. Always deal with the most urgent task. Deal with the most urgent task. Followed up by the important ones. Don't procrastinate. Don't defer that important task to such a time it becomes a problem for you to do, for you to handle. There is a fine line between deferring and procrastination. Procrastinating indefinitely. The trick is rescheduling instead of just postponing. Setting a new date and time for all the important tasks that have great value, but are not urgent to manage your work time effectively. Finalizing the biggest task first shines a brilliant light on the end of the tunnel. Use this to help you stay focused and motivated throughout the rest of your work. Then the last D is do. Just do it. You can see the diagram there. Just do it. What are we doing? Just do it. The first, as if you can master these 4 Ds, then the sky will be your starting point. The first is to delegate. The second is to defer. The third is to delete. And now they are telling us to do. Do it simply. Do is simply about taking action right away. That do is telling us to take action right away. That is to tell you that that urgent task must be taken care of immediately. Don't waste time on that because it is urgent and it has a deadline which has to be cracked. Do it. And this is what you use with tasks that fall into the first quadrant of the Eisenhower urgent important matrix. So always have to do it. The most successful entrepreneurs know that starting early helps start their day into being more productive. They work on their task as soon as possible to be able to do more afterwards. Be diligent with your work, even when you start feeling stuck. It's easier to polish up work that is lacking than to force a perfect report in one run. As soon as the first task has been accomplished, move on to the next. Having more power over your itinerary is a great stepping stone towards managing your business more efficiently. Make sure you incorporate these 4 Ds into your time management strategy as soon as you start feeling overwhelmed. We have taken care of the 4 Ds now. Then we are moving to the next point on our agenda, which has to do with the SMART or SMARTer acronym. Any task that must be delegated must be specific, must be measurable, must be achievable, it must be realistic, it must have a time bound, which can be evaluated and reviewed. So that is what we mean by the SMART or SMARTer acronym. The first, which is the X, that is specific. The M stands for measurable. The X is specific. Any task that must be delegated must have a proper definition. That task must be specific. What are you out to achieve? What is in it for you? Always ask questions. If you are given a task and that such task is not specific, it means the task is dead on arrival. Somebody elsewhere has set you up to fail. A delegated task must be specific. It must have a proper definitions. You must understand the scope. Without knowing the scope, there is no how you can understand the limitations. You must understand what is in it for you. Be specific. There is no use in setting a general goal because it won't suit you personally. If you adapt the goal to apply to what you need, then it will be much more valuable to you. You want to prosper in your field of work, but isn't everyone in the office thinking the same? So the delegated task has to be specific. If you are going to doing a job, you must be able to define what will be in parity with that set objective. Then M stands for measurable. Is it a measurable one? Is it quantifiable? For instance, going back to the example, objective of selling more, you can measure this by the amount of units sold. Being a measurable goal allows you to identify when exactly it has been reached. What you desire at the end of what you desire as the end result. It has to be measurable. You must have a standard, and the actuals should be set against the standard to look for deviations and how deviations can be corrected. Achievable is the delegated task an achievable task. If it is not achievable, then you are wasting your time. Time management becomes useless. The point of a target is to challenge and motivate yourself to complete a piece of work. If you set your target too high, it can cause stress, and so decreasing the chance of your target actually being within reach. Likewise, if a target was too easy, will inhibit you from pushing yourself and doing more. Setting yourself a reasonable target is crucial. Set that target and work towards achieving the target. Then realistic. Is the task a realistic one? I'm going to own a multi-million-pound enterprise by the end of the month. Might be a tad too ambitious. Don't get me wrong. Ambition is a leading trait, but maybe start off with something more realistic. Remember, all successful business people don't just become successful overnight. You must work on something, start from somewhere. A journey of 1,000 kilometers. Start with a step. realistic. Then it must also have a time bound. If the task delegated has no time bound, then there is no how it will be achievable. It will be realistic. You must set a time of accomplishment. Deadlines must be there. And such delegated tasks can be evaluated and reviewed so that in future, when you are going into something, one should be able to say, okay, this is what we are out to achieve. This is what we have done. And this is where we are going to do it. So the last point here now is effective time mapping. Time mapping. Time mapping. What is time mapping? Remember, I told you earlier, you can see the diagram there. It shows the time you spent, you set from accomplishing one task to the other. A to-do list. A to-do list. You plan what is to be done. I told you earlier that when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And when you fail to plan, you stink. And when you stink, you sink. Time mapping. Time mapping serves as a great tool for effective time management. Yet, it is often mistaken for time tracking, while it has nothing to do with it. However, time tracking can be part of time mapping if used in a proper way. So what exactly is time mapping? It is a map of your task. Time mapping is a map of what you are to do. It is your to-do list, a map of your time. You design the map. So hour, I will go here. So hour, I should be here. So hour, you should have host a board meeting. So hours, you should meet with your customers. So hours, you should have a family visit a family member. So it has to do with your 888. Map what is to be done during the work hour. What is to be done during your private practice, and what is to be done the time you are at home, so that you don't overlap one for the other. It has an element of time tracking because you must know the actual time you have spent on a particular goal, on a particular task. That is why in principle number 2, we are asked to organize and prioritize. It is a map of your task, either related to work or your personal life, with the distinction of time blocks. Time mapping can be extremely helpful in organizing time for emails, phone calls, meetings, amongst many other aspects of work which need to be done. That is a map of your time, time mapping. When you map out your time perfectly, the sky will be your starting point. You should be able to ask yourself whether you are spending, how you are spending your time. Are you spending it in the right way? What would you like to change in your work day? How would you like your day to look like? Is there any particular task you should pay more attention to? Once you made your time map, see how it works with your day, make adjustments. The more you work with it, the better it works. Whether the blocks of time align with your time map, also you can create monthly and weekly time mapping templates and fill it according to your personal requirements. Conclusion. The final point about time management is the concept of balance. You should be able to balance the principles. You should be able to balance yourself. You should be able to balance your task. Balance everything. The 888 has to be balanced. The paid employment should be balanced. What is to be done? Do it appropriately, accurately, and timely. Your PPs also has to be taken care of. Then the family and friends should be taken care of. And you have to balance yourself to such a point that you have enough rest to enable you to rejuvenate, to come out better and stronger for the next day operation. The concept of a balance. The most important thing that you can instill in your life is balance and moderation. By practicing the methods, ideas, and techniques in this paper, you become a master time manager and have more time for your family and your personal life. Other people take time management programs so that they can increase the number of things that they can do on a day-to-day basis. However, as a wise man said, there is more to life than simply increasing its speed. The main purpose of learning and practicing time management skill is to enhance and improve the overall quality of your time. It is to increase the amount of pleasure and happiness you experience. As a professional manager, you must have the little knowledge of everything. Always believe that in your 5 P's, proper preparations prevent poor performance. Do things timely and accurately. You have to be swift in taking decisions. Decisions that will stand the test of time. Because a bad decision taken early is better than a good decision taken late, at a later date. Don't procrastinate. Don't postpone a task to such a date it becomes a problem or you do away with them. You should be able to manage your time accurately and timely. If you want a year prosperity, grow grains. 10 years prosperity, grow trees. 100 years prosperity, grow people. Thank you all, and God bless you all. Mr. Abubakar, over to you. Mr. Abubakar, are you there? Yeah. Okay, let me unmute him. Mr. Abubakar, you can unmute yourself now.
All right, thank you, sir, for that wonderful presentation on effective time management. I want to believe that the Honorable Registrar has done justice to that paper, effective time management. Before we go to the next item on our agenda, which is going to be the oath taking, I'm sure that some of us have already jotted down questions in which we want to pass across, either in relation to the paper he just presented on effective time management or some other managerial challenges that we have come across in the course of our managerial practice, and we want to share with the House and also seek professional advice. Please, we can do that by using the chat button on our screen. You can type in your question and send it in, or better still, if we can maintain decorum by not unmuting ourselves at the same time. Whoever that have a question should just be the one to unmute his or herself to pass across his or her question. Otherwise, we'll send it in as a chart. So that is the presentation on effective time management. And in the course of his review, he talked decisively on the 4 Ds of time management, and most especially on the aspects of delegation. That is one aspect of managerial practice that a lot of people are afraid to carry out or to exercise in the course of their managerial practice, or whenever they found themselves in leadership position. They operate as what we term the 360-degree managers, no leave, no transfer. 247, they are always moving with their file. At a time, I had to resolve that maybe that is one of the challenges that most of our Nigeria businesses suffer, that makes us not to be able to see any business or organization that have stand the test of time up to a lifetime of 100 years. Because when you don't delegate, yes, we are meant to understand that when delegating, you don't delegate your absolute power or your total managerial power to subordinating which you are going to delegate to. But at least in the process of delegating, you are also growing somebody who will be able to fill into your position when you are no longer there. And as a result of that, the organization will not suffer in your absence. There are some organizations or businesses today, if the oga is not on seat, nothing can be done. They have to, if oga is sick, let's, for instance, take Steve Jobs as an example. Before his death, he has already groomed somebody else who will take over from him when he is no longer there. That is the owner of iPhone and so on. He has already groomed up somebody for his death. And we can now see today that even the phone that was not produced in his lifetime, that has already been designed before his demise, you can see they are dishing it out without necessarily saying that, oh, the guy is no more, so the business has to, or the brand has to stop where he stopped. No. So that is what delegation and also having a good succession plan can also bring to an organization. That is the good it can do to an organization. So also, when you talk of managerial style, which you also talk decisively on, a lot of people might tell you that, oh, autocratic system of government is the best, most especially in this part of the world where we find ourselves. They will all tell you that, oh, nobody wants to do anything without 100% supervision, that if you allow them to do at their own pace or at their own will, you are going to suffer it, or you as the boss, you end up coming back, or you as the boss, you end up coming back to do the job again. But here in Institute of Professional Managers, we believe that being a situational manager is the best style of managers. when you talk the best style of leadership, it should be a situational leadership or situational, to be a situational manager. Whichever situation you are confronted with should be the type of leadership in which you are going to dish out. Like we said earlier on, some organizations as we are today, they don't even know how to navigate through this present situation in which we are. If you have stick to, oh, this is just the best system of leadership in which I'm going to stick to in my life, and we are currently facing a challenges of health, tell me, how will, is 10 years the leadership style, is it still working in this present age? No, because what was obtainable 20 years ago in terms of technological advance, managerial input and advance can no longer work in this present day situation. It can no longer work in this present day situation. So that is why as a professional manager, we should be able to think outside the box and also be able to carry our subordinates along. And in the course of carrying everybody along, we should be able to communicate effectively. When you want to communicate to subordinates, you communicate to the fullest in which they can understand. That is what SMART or SMARTER acronym is all about. Whenever you want to carry out tasks, if that task is not specific, is not measurable, is not time bound, and is not accurate, is not time bound, then you are already set out to fail. Don't let it be a situation whereby Madam asks and house help to go and put yam on the fire. Yes, you have communicated to the house help, but you did not tell the house help if the yam is meant for pounded yam or just for normal yam for everybody to eat. At the end of the day, if the house help decide within our own capacity to salt the yam or to add salt to the boiled yam, and at the end of the day, when the yam is boiled, she is now telling Madam that the yam is ready. You are now telling her to go and wash the mortar that you want to pound the yam. Will you blame the house help for it? Because there was no effective communication. You only asked her to go and boil yam without telling her what the yam is meant for. So, as a manager, as a leader, we have, whenever we are communicating to our subordinates, it has to be to the fullest. So without taking us another round of lecture, like I said earlier on, if you have a question, just note it down. We are coming back to that while we quickly take the oath of professional conduct of the institute, which the registrar is going to administer to us any moment from now. And I want to believe that we all have a copy of the oath that has already been sent to us. You are expected, after the oath taking, you are expected to write your name on it, sign it with today's date, scan them and send them back to us. So I'll now hand over back to the registrar to carry on with the oath taking. Registrar, sir, over to you.
Hello, please. How about those that have sent the oath before? Like
Yeah, if you already have the oath with you, if you have printed it out or you have not even printed it out, you can just open it, flip through it, and read through while the registrar is administering it. Then between Monday or during the week, you can print it out, write your name on it, and sign with today's date and scan it back to us.
I put mine and I've sent it.
You have already sent it?
Yeah.
All right, no problem. But you still have a copy in order to read through while the oath is being administered.
Yeah, I still have the copy.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Registrar, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abubakar. This is now the induction proper. After you are not yet a member of the institute until after the oath taking. What we have done before now was part of the pre-induction course. So now we have to take the oath. You are still an attending members until the oath is taken. Those of you who are joining us as fellows today, after your BSc and other degrees, HND and others, you now quote FIPMA. FIPMA to show that you are a fellow Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators. And to the other body, which is African Institute of Strategic Managers, their fellow is FISM, fellow, FAISM, fellow African Institute of Strategic Managers. Then the full members is MIPMA, 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 that is to show that you are a member, Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria. So the African Institute of Strategic Managers is MISM, MAISM, member Institute of member African Institute of Strategic Managers. Then the associate is AIPMA and AAISM. So Associate Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria. Let us take the oath. Now, this code of ethics and professional conduct describes the expectations that we have of ourselves and our fellow practitioners all over the world. You can unmute yourself now. Let us make it lively. Therefore, as a member of the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, African Institute of Strategic Managers, I, your name?
I, Dr. Babatunde Bamide Leti Aniwo.
Pledge to conduct myself professionally with truth.
Conduct myself professionally with truth,
accuracy,
fairness,
and responsibility to the public. To pay my annual membership subscription as at when due.
My annual membership subscription on the 2nd of every January yearly.
To foster the highest standards of professional competence.
The highest standard of professional competence among those to whom I am responsible.
To enhance the proficiency and stature of the profession.
Enhance the proficiency and stature of the profession by acquiring and applying knowledge in the appropriate way and manner.
To participate in all professional development programs.
To dissociate myself from anything that will tarnish.
So that one's knowledge and performance are enhanced.
The institute or bring the
knowledge to dissociate myself from anything that will tarnish the good image of the institute or bring the institute into
myself from anything that will tarnish the good image of the institute or bring the institute into disrepute.
To honor confidence received or given in the course of professional activity.
Honor confidence received or given in the course of professional.
To comply with both the letter and the intent of the laws of the country, in which I practice and agree contractual obligations.
Individuals engage in activities which promote the development of individuals
To respect the truth and shall not disseminate false or misleading information.
And shall not misleading information.
To abide by and to encourage others to practice the professional code of ethics of the institute.
Not disseminate false or misleading information.
that arranging led in good faith and in accordance with the policy of the institute.
Abide by the authority of the professional that I make this pledge in good faith and in accordance with the standards to reserve the right to suspend me and dismiss me summarily.
You asked me yesterday.
Congratulations.
All right, congratulations to you all. You are now a bona fide member of the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria and African Institute of Strategic Managers. The African Institute of Strategic Managers is our affiliating institute here in Nigeria, which is a body of managers across Africa with our head office in Ghana. And the Institute of Professional Managers, seasoned managers and administrators in Nigeria and beyond deem it fit to go into collaboration with this institute. And that's today, to the glory of God, give us the sole power of being their representative and coordinating institute for all their affairs in Nigeria. Once again, congratulations, and you are all welcome on board.
Thank you
Just
very much.
a quick reminder, as the registrar said earlier on, for those of us who are inducted as a fellow, after the writing of our name and other titles that we might have, we can now use the initials of FIPMA for Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria. You use FIPMA for fellows, while for full members, you use MIPMA for full members. And for associates, you use AIPMA. And for African Institute of Strategic Managers, fellows, you use FAISM, while full members use MAISM, and associates, you use AAISM. Once again, congratulations, and you are all welcome on board. So before we take the closing remark, for questions and contributions, please, I want to open the floor now for question. You have the access to your microphone. You can unmute it if you have any question, or kindly notify by using the thumbs up. Then you'll be called upon to avoid the cross conversation. So while we quickly run through that in the next 10 to 15 minutes before we take the closing remark. Thank you. So for those of us who have questions, it's now time for questions or contribution. Please unmute your microphone if you can hear me, and let's hear your questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Baka. And my question is this. In the course of the presentation by the registrar, on number 4, he said we should do one thing, as a manager, as a professional manager, we should do one thing at a time. This is a kind of personal experience with some senior managers, or a senior manager rather, and then she always made us understand that you have to be multitasking. You must learn how to multitask. That if you don't multitask, you might have a challenge in growing faster in your choosing career. So, but with the presentation and the lecture we got this morning, we were advised to do what? To do one thing at a particular time. So how can we look at this area and see how we can, be guided professionally, or to differentiate this, or how to apply it.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Registrar, sir.
Yeah, let me attend to that one at a time.
All right, all right.
Yeah, what we are saying here, like what your manager was trying to tell you, to be multitasking. Yeah, it is also a nice idea, but not in the area of time management. You can understand your job, maybe from one department to another. It shows how how talented you are, and that will make you grow faster on the job. But when it comes to delegation, you have to do one. When it comes to time management, at least for you not to be distracted, you have to you have to organize and prioritize your time, your task. Once you are able to organize and prioritize your task, then you go straight and do the urgent ones. The urgent task has to be accomplished first. Once you are able to accomplish the urgent ones, then you can now follow up by the important ones. Because the situation where you want to do everything the same time, you model up the urgent task together with that of important ones in the name of want to be multitasking. You end up achieving nothing at the end of the day. So if it is in other areas, she's advising for you to be multitasking, then I don't have any argument on that. Because maybe our own multitasking could mean a different thing from what we are discussing here. But when you want to manage your time perfectly, you have to do one thing at a time. Except where you want to multitask, make sure that you have subordinates, people that can help you. You can delegate. You know, they have given us options. Like the power of, if you want to invoke the 4 Ds, you either delete, you delegate, you defer, or you do it. Those tasks that are important, that management is on it, that there is deadline which you have to crack, you have to do that task. The ones that are not important, you defer them. In as much as you are deferring, you should not. There should be a line between deferring and procrastination. When you are deferring to do it at a later date. But when you procrastinate, it shows that you have done away with that job, and it will not augur well for the organization. So if you are not deferring, you are delegating, and when you are not delegating, you are deleting. When you are deleting, it means you are doing away with those tasks that are neither relevant nor urgent, neither important nor urgent. Then and so many other things, like in trying to meet up with time, trying to meet up with deadlines. If you are multitasking, then you are bound to fail, because you have to organize and prioritize. And once you are able to organize and prioritize, then your to-do list will tell you that this has to be done first before going to the other one. But if you want to bring because you believe you can do everything at the same time, you are bound to have problems. So the best thing for you to do is to, once the task is organized and is prioritized, then you go out of your way to do the urgent ones first. Once the urgent task is achievable, then you now come back to do the other ones. Maybe in her own area of trying to tell you to be multitasking, she may be telling you to at least to understand every aspect of the job in the organization, which is also good. But in time management, it has to be one at a time. If you bring up so many things together, you end up achieving nothing. That is what they are trying to tell us here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I believe he has done justice to that question, and also he has cleared the air regarding to issue of being multitasking and doing one thing at a time. Do we have any other questions or contribution?
There's a question now.
My
hand has been up.
Okay, sorry about that.
Sorry for that. Okay, please, Mr. Liadi Dauda, I'll get back to you. Let's quickly take our own. Thank you.
I just want to find out. Okay.
Go, please come again.
Okay, I want to find out how the acronym will be written. Is it in capital letters? That's IPMA. Is it in capital letters, all cap, or initial cap? I don't know whether you got my question.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's to be written in capital letter.
Okay.
Thank you, ma.
All caps.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Liadi, please, let's have your question or contribution.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I want to appreciate the registrar for that wonderful presentation. My question is actually on the Japanese concept of 8 by 8 by 8 hours. I want to ask how realistic is this concept in the face of the experiences we have in cities like Lagos and Port Harcourt, where you spend almost 17 hours on the road, back to your home and in the office. How do you reconcile this, please?
Wow. All right, thank you. Mr. Registrar, over to you.
Okay, wow. So you mean that people actually spend 17 hours on the road? It is not realistic, sir.
Better.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking from experience. You leave your house 5 a.m. in the morning, and you are leaving your office, you get back home 10 p.m. So that's 17 hours.
Then you have to plan that on the move. While you're on the road going, you should be doing it. That you have to, there are some functions you can delegate out in such situation. So when you delegate, you free up time, and by so doing, it means that as you are spending, you must have a driver in this for you to perform optimally in this kind of environment. There must be somebody concentrating and driving you up and down. So while that person is driving, then your brain should be working. While you are in the car, you assume that you are already in the office.
Yeah.
You
All right.
assume that you are in the office. You should be attending to your private business because there are people that you have outsourced that aspect to that will be managing for you. At least like now, I have a business running elsewhere, which is not even where I am. So every day I make sure I have a specific time. I reach out to them. What is happening? This is that. We are in a digital world now. You don't need to be physical in some places. At least since thank God that you are spending 17 hours to and fro and everything, that shows you can model up your private practice and that of your paid employment together. Then as for the other 8 hours, that can go for madam and the children and to rejuvenate for the next day. Thank you. This is a practical case study.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Bakar.
Yeah.
My hand is up. Yami Phillips.
My hand is up.
Okay. Please.
Dr. Babatunde Tiamiyu.
Okay. Yami Phillips and Dr. Babatunde Tiamiyu, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
On this aspect of spending 17 hours on the road, honestly, it's not a
That's reality in Nigeria.
Which means you have to you have to be you have to be operating while on the go.
Mobile operation.
Mobile office.
Well, even giving too much to your brain can even have negative effect at times.
Honestly. All right, Dr. Tiamiyu, please, let's get your question. Then after that, Yami.
My question is, where you have a boss who is not ready to delegate, what will be the likely effect of such action on the overall development and progress of the organization?
Yeah. If your boss failed to delegate,
is not ready to delegate, refuses to delegate, wants to be there every time.
Wow, he's operating like Moses, a one-man manager. He wants to do things alone. And that will make him to wear out easily. He will become useless to the family and to everyone around him. The issue is that such boss is afraid of something. Maybe it's not out to, it's not the time that you want a worthy successor. By the time he's no longer in the organization. You know, some people, if you are working with them, they see you as a threat. So, and what they are looking at is that, hope this man has not come to take over my job. If you are that kind of boss, then there is no how you can achieve much in the organization. it becomes
Mm.
problem because you want to do everything. 365 days, no leave, no transfer. Then you will be affected health-wise. And that will be there could be job burnout as a result of physical stress, emotional, psychological, and what have you. Such boss is one thing is that he's your boss, but try to come down to his level, explain to him, make him look brilliant, because you have to understand the first rule of law of 48 laws of power: never outshine your master. He's the boss. And if you want to start complaining, nagging here and there, he can make or mar you. So you have to come down and talk to him in the language that we understand you. You have to win his trust. Make him believe that he can delegate and free up time. Health-wise, it's okay for him, and he can explore into the unknown. Make him believe that it is God that does things for people. It is not by our effort. Because a situation where he's afraid that somebody could come, and the change is inevitable, and it has to be natural. If it's not destined to be there today, he will never be there. So the truth is that make him feel secured, because the issue here now has to do with security.
I think you are right. You are right. You are right.
That's why some people, if you are applying to join the organization, they first glance through your CV. If they notice that they are threatened, there is no grammar or anything you can do that you'll be employed. So in such environment, see some people getting into an organization with a lower qualification. It is when they are stable and they are able to understand them better. They will not say, I have this, I have that, I have this. The manager will not say, okay, submit them. Because this kind of boss is not secured with you. You have to make him feel belong. And whatever task that is assigning to you, you make him look like the most intelligent person too. Polish him. But that is why I told you earlier that delegation is you don't delegate your total managerial functions to a subordinate. Hello. Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay. You don't delegate your total managerial functions.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Okay. You don't delegate your total managerial functions to a subordinate. So you have to make sure that they are up and doing, and you follow up. You know, there are some subordinates, when you delegate to them, they can go out and tell the whole world that without them, you cannot do, you are nothing. That is why in management, you will make sure that as you are grooming that one particular person, you are grooming others along too. Let you should have you should be the arrowhead of the team.
Okay. Doctor, my question is, what's the likely effect and consequence of such on the whole organization?
Yeah, when a subordinate is not delegating, it will slow up the performance of the organization. Because only him cannot be everywhere at the same time. A situation where you have a meeting with customers 2 p.m. and other stakeholders are also looking for you that same hour. So there is no how he can be there. He cannot divide himself into 2 or 3 at the same time. So it has an adverse effect on the organization. Remember, we're in a world of competition. The competitors are not sleeping until you are already sleeping. So if they found out that you are lacking in one area or the other, they will capitalize on that. And that could lead to be suicidal for your organization. But the truth is that you have to do what we call benchmarking. Things that will give you comparative advantage over your competitors. So such subordinate can be, such a superior can be cancelled. Let him know that he alone cannot be everywhere. He cannot be he cannot be there where to buy the raw materials at the same time where to produce the finished goods. Because if you want to do that, then it shows that it's analog in a digital age.
In a digital age, yeah. You are right. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful response to such a question. In a nutshell, we are meant to understand that such boss can bring about adverse effects to an organizational growth. So next question is from Yemi Phillips. Please unmute your microphone and let's hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate this time and our Mr. Register for that wonderful talk. True, I discovered that majority of it based on relation. And when he was talking about the reason why we need to engage in time management, that it enhances our personal relationship. I think it's just an advice.
Your network is cracking, sir.
We should study more and develop, because if you look at reason number 7, it also says it improves our career. So which means relationship. So possibly the next time we will be able to talk more how we can develop effective relationship with our leaders, our subordinates, and so on. And then the second thing I want to ask is, when he was concluding, he said, if you want 10-year prosperity, grow something. I missed out that one because the network was bad.
All right, no problem.
If you want to have 10 years prosperity, grow something. Well, something prosperity. Then now say 100 years prosperity, grow people. You please expatiate more and our co-workers.
That will be taken, sir. Do we still have any other question before we address that, please? Any other question, contributions?
Yes.
Okay. Well, before we take the other 2, 3 questions, at the concluding part, the registrar said, if you want a year prosperity, grow grains. Then if you want 10 years prosperity, grow trees. You grow trees. And if you want 100 years prosperity, you grow people. At the beginning of the program, I emphasized mostly on having seen any Nigerian-owned organization, be it government or private business, that have existed over 100 years. You can see that this has to do with growing the right people and putting them at the right place. Just like as it's been said that if you want to walk fast, you walk alone. But if you want to walk far or go far in life, you have to walk with people. Because when you are no longer there, those people you have groomed will continue with your legacy. And that is one thing we have not really experienced in this part of the world, starting even from our political office holder. But I believe one day we'll get there. So please, let's have the next person. Let's have your thoughts, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Concerning the professor, he said, learn to say no to tasks you feel overwhelmed about. Assuming you are given a task that will take much of your time, much of your morning, and it's risk. And the management are not ready to support. Are you to say no or try to maneuver within it? That's my first question. And the second question is, in an organization where you find yourself and your boss or your senior officers, they see you as a competitor. But when something are going wrong and you perceive it, if you try to guide them on what to do, so they see you as if you are too pushy, you are overzealous. So how that organization is being affected. There's so many things affecting such organization. The organization is just as if when people are just politicalizing it. You get it? You are in a situation where you don't want things to go wrong. And definitely they are all saying that things are going wrong. But for the fact that they don't want the owners of this company to see them as, you know, they would like, and you that you are there to correct or to guide, even the fact that you are telling the boss, your boss directly, they don't do what it ought to do to correct the thing they see, despite the fact that it's eating badly on the organization. That's my 2 questions.
All right. Thank you.
Let me address them.
All right, but please, before you do that, Miriam, Christopher,
I take you.
exercise patience. I'll get back to you.
Address in order.
All right, Mr. Registrar, over to you.
Yeah, like the first speaker, you have addressed 1 out of the 2. So what is there is that you must have a good relationship for you to achieve to do more in the workplace. The superiors should be able to align with their subordinates and work as a team. And the subordinate should look up to their superiors. There are some managers in the organization, they are performing their executory role. So they bring policies of the upper echelons, translate it down in the language that will be understood by the operation staff. So there must be cordial relationship if things must work perfectly. So you have to do that. You give your subordinate a listening ear. As a good leader, you must not use force on them. You must make people, if you are able to make your subordinate do things willingly without coercing them to do that, it shows that you are a leader. They should be happy doing it for you, not when you force them to do that. And you should also be there as a good counselor to them. You counsel them from time to time. Areas where they are performing, you recommend them. Areas where they are not, they are finding it difficult, you recommend them for training. At least by so doing, they will be hoping to do more for the organization. And in trying to say no, that is the second question. When you try to say no, what we are saying here is that your task has to be organized and prioritized. And once your task is organized and prioritized, you should be able to understand which is urgent and which is important. The urgent task has to be accomplished first, followed up by the important task. If you are able to do that, and the fact that that is why you must invoke the power of the 4 Ds. You either do, you delete, you defer, or you delegate. If you are to do, it means that any task that you must do must be that important. It must be that important. You have to do the important ones. Then you take care of the important ones, and you defer the urgent. You take care of the urgent tasks and defer the important ones. What we are saying here is that a situation where you have a particular task to accomplish, and that task is urgent, yet your boss feels that he can give you another urgent task. You have an urgent task, and another urgent task is coming. You already have a deadline to meet up with, except that task is redefined. It is no longer urgent and has become this is important. That is when you can take the new one. Or you have subordinates under you who can do either of the tasks. You delegate to them to free up time for the most urgent tasks to be accomplished. But the situation where you know that you'll be overwhelmed and this will affect your job, you have to talk to your superior in the language that you understand. Let him understand that this that I'm doing now may not allow me to go into the another jurisdiction. There is no how you can model up the two, except the time has to be rescheduled for you. Okay, why don't you do this one next week? It shows that that task is no longer urgent. It is important, but not urgent. Then you now go ahead and do the most urgent task. But the situation where they are not giving you any task that must be given to you must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must have a time bound which can be evaluated and reviewed. If any of this is lacking, it shows that somebody somewhere has set you up to fail. If a task is given and the resources for accomplishment is not in parity with that task, it shows that the boss has set you up to fail. Communicate that in writing, so that when things goes wrong, goes wrong tomorrow, at least they will see your memo. This has been done, and this was what you stated at so particular time. Then the second question, where you want to bring in your ideas and the managers are not allowing you, or your superiors are not allowing you. Remember, it has to do with your manner of approach too. Remember, I quoted the first rule of the 48 laws of power.
Mike,
Never outshine your master. Never outshine your master. If the master is still relevant, then don't outshine him because he can make or mar you. Make your master look more important, more intelligent than you. You polish him. You can operate from a background, and you shipping things to him without even anybody knowing that you are the one doing it. And there is no how he will not like that. And the situation where it's not dancing to your tune, and it's not ready to take your advice from you, your advice, and they are not ready to take. Remember, you are not the accounting officer. If anything happens, they will talk of the management. And who is the head of the management? Then the problem will fall on him and not you. So yours is to advise, and if a task is given to you, you communicate to them in such a language that will be understood by them. Remember, there are some organizations, especially the civil service, where they have to follow the Measurable Principle of rigidity. You notice that they will tell you you must obey the hierarchy, the Scala model, and so many other things. The rigid rules and procedures must be followed. If you want to do things on your own, there are people that will tell you, this is how it has been done before you were born. So you are not allowed to bring in your own ideas. So in such an environment, you play by the rules. If anything goes wrong, that is the more reason why they should modify their rules tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Mr. Abubakar.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Miriam, if you
Hello.
can hear,
hello, go on.
Have your...
Okay. Good afternoon.
You can unmute yourself if you want to ask questions.
Miriam Christopher, please unmute your microphone and let's hear you.
Okay, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, my question is about the subscription, yearly subscription. Knowing that we just subscribed in the month of July, and that, so are we still expected to make another subscription by January?
All right. Well, the subscription of membership of the Institute is an annual thing. So the fact that you are being inducted today now, the fee which you pay has covered 2020 subscription. So by the time God's willing, we all cross over to 2021, we are in another year.
Amen.
So you are expected to pay a subscription for the year 2021. So we are not counting by the months, or once we are in a new year, a new calendar year, you are expected to pay your annual subscription. And a quick one for that annual subscription for fellowship is 7,000 Naira, while full members is 5,000 Naira annually, and for an associate is 3,000 Naira subscription fee annually. Thank you. Do we have any other question before?
I have a question.
All right, Latifa.
Sorry, maybe it's yeah.
Oh yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, still based on the delegation of the thing, one thing I've come to realize, especially what I observed firsthand, that most staff, especially in the public organizations, they don't like delegating to their immediate staff. That's the person that is next to them in rank. They prefer delegating to people that are more junior to them, probably because of corruption or something, trying to hide some stuff. And you see the people next to them that are supposed to do that job they are delegating, you see them sitting idle. But you now see maybe a junior staff busy with the work of the work that other staff supposed to have been doing. And you just concentrate on it. Even when there is maybe a problem, there is urgency in that job, you find out that if either the boss that dictated that job to a junior staff is not around and the junior staff is not around, that job will not be done. And you find out that it's only the units I have seen, is obtainable in almost every aspect of where I worked out from. Then there is nobody you can report to because it's as if it's a daily thing. You see somebody, you see, okay, you are this person is next to you. Instead of you to say, okay, do this job, you keep it. And you know this job needs an urgent attention. Maybe students are waiting, there's something that needs to be done. You prefer for that thing to wait for the junior staff to come and do it. And you find out you have issues with you see some people, some staff, they say, hey, don't they do my work now? Chair, I don't give them my work to do. And you know, all those side talk, at the end of the day, the way it's supposed to be done and on time, and it even affects the organizations. Maybe because it's a public delegate, you do it, you prefer and all that. It will even work faster, better when it's a private organization, or maybe even if it's some public organization, it's not like the one we have, like a government parastatals and maybe other organizations that are civil service like. So I don't know, that's what I've seen. I don't think there's even any solution to that kind of problem because I've seen it has been happening and nobody does anything about it. So
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
that is more of an observation.
Yeah.
So one thing is that you know, people always have what we call their own kitchen cabinet in every sector of the country now. When somebody is a director is moving to a place, he will move with those people that are loyal to him, those that will protect his interests. So the bane of that is corruption, because corruption is giving birth to all those anomalies. So you notice that so if they are operating as if they are in a secret society. So it is not something that you can easily understand from the outside. The more you see, the less you know. It's a kind of an abracadabra. And even one thing is that the way private practice
the law of magic.
Yeah, law of magic. Uru uru. Or some people call it GBT. So it happens everywhere. So even when you you look critically from presidency down to our local government, they operate the same way. The chairman will, if you are a cashier now, before the arrival of a particular chairman, he will come and remove you and put his own man there. Because when that he will bring somebody that can bring the cash even at 2 a.m. to his house. Not somebody that will ask him what that cash is meant for. So you can see that a lot of things has gone wrong. I was reading a statement just now on my Facebook where the NDDC people allocated 1.5 billion as palliatives to themselves for this in the coronavirus when they are not even infected. What has become? Imagine the whole problem is just the grace of God, because it has become our mentality. And even when we look at the SMART or SMARTER acronym, there is no how what is happening in the civil servant will be specific. There is no how it can be measurable. There is no how it can be achievable. There is no realistic. It has no time bound. That is why you see somebody will be given a task to do. They'll tell you, go to Lagos, if you like, remain there for 1 month and come back. Nobody will ask questions. But in the private sector, they will give you the resources will be in parity with the task at hand. So if you are going to Lagos, they'll tell you, my friend, you must spend 4 days. So that 4 days must be this thing. You have to remain there, lodge, and the amount that will be given to you will be for that particular day. Except something new comes up. That is where you can, and you have to convince your management that this is what has to be done. And this is why this will happen this way, for them to understand. But in the public sector, there's nothing like time bound. You can go there, a committee will be set to do something, another committee will be set to investigate the first committee, another committee will now come in to, There's problem everywhere. And if you look at the way they do things also, they are not swift about it. Imagine when if they follow the rigid rules and procedures, you cannot, if somebody that is signing a particular file is not in the office, if he has gone on leave or he has traveled out of the country, you must wait for that person to come back to sign for you. So imagine the time that will be wasted. If it is a business, would you have break even with such attitude? The answer is no.
No, capital no.
Yeah, no. So that is the issue here. Because if you look at when you write a letter to a minister now, the minister will assign it to that PAMSEC, to his PAMSEC, to do the needful. The PAMSEC will send minute to the director, deputy director in charge of the ministry to treat and advise. The director will now send to his deputy director to treat. The deputy director will send it to assistant director. It will go down up to the clerical staff. They are the ones that are, they are the engine room. They are the ones that are doing the work. Just like there was a time, a meeting on a particular product between the Chinese companies and American companies. What the Chinese people does was that the first meeting where the whole thing has to be given birth to at the conceptual, that is during the conception, at the conceptual stage of the issue, they sent in their operation staff to go and actually understand what these people are telling them to do, what the specification, the modifications, and every other thing. While the Americans brought in their own upper echelons, their upper level managers. So the board of directors, those one went there to discuss that, while the Chinese men sent in their foremen. Then the next meeting, they now sent in their tactical level managers, that is the middle level managers. Then that was when this.
Yes, sir. With due respect to other members, yes, sir. Yes, sir. The registrar, do you think we should continue in this cycle? When we Nigeria develop in all this, then secondly, I think as professional managers, wherever we are, especially we that are new members, as from today, we should try to make a difference wherever we find ourselves, so that we'll be able to prove that there are certain category of people who are ready to do the needful to make our society to develop.
Yes, sir. So it is,
I don't think that will be possible in Nigeria.
One thing is that,
don't be pessimistic.
Hello, sir.
Don't be a pessimist.
People are practicing. In fact, it's putting them in a pitch.
It is a case study, sir. To some people, if it is a private organization, they will welcome anything that will increase productivity and profitability. But in a place whereby people's mind is already skewed to a particular direction of looting and looting, if whatever ideas you are giving them will be trashed to the dustbin, and they might not work with it in such a way that you'll be happy with. That is why you see that those that are honest don't last in that cycle. Because if you want to bring in your own ideas, they will tell you, my friend, this is how we have been doing it before you were born.
But must we continue that way?
No, it is a problem which we have at the moment. I just believe that it's something we can change. If we can change that, it will be better.
How can we change that?
But how can we change it? That is a case study. Because not those people that are causing all this havoc, those are the hands of affairs. And you as a junior officer, you cannot come and change the status quo. It's just that what we need now is a radical change. When somebody at the top will no longer look, maybe it's not out for any grazing of palm or anything that will enrich himself. Now we have the president. But do you think that before we voted in President Buhari, over 99% of us thought that this man is the Messiah. He's coming to change everything. He's coming to do this and coming to do that. Can't you see that the man is overwhelmed at the moment?
Yeah.
You can
yeah,
see that the people surrounding him are not even sincere to his own cause.
Exactly.
It's what you want to hear. It's what you want to know. They will tell him. They will not present the actual pictures to him.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, sir.
God help us. God help us.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, sir.
Go on,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Hello, sir.
Go
Hello,
on,
sir.
Yeah,
Go on, go on.
I want to thank you very much for those contributions. Number one, somebody said we can start now.
Yes,
Definitely we can start. And somebody said it's not possible. It is possible. Let me tell you.
Okay.
I think we have heard even this year, some people saw some money from somewhere and they returned the money.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting me now? Somebody saw some money somewhere and they returned the money. That one, it will be there forever for that person. And it is a model for us to follow.
Yes, sir.
But what we are saying, I want to thank God for what the chairman is saying about the country generally. But for me, as a pastor in my church, over 20 years ago, one of my junior brother was to be ordained as assistant pastor. I said, this boy is too small. He is my junior brother. I say he's too small, and he's not up to 20 years. He's not married. I made sure that he was not ordained. He's my junior brother.
Yes, sir.
If we can start all these things now, it can. For example, for the Nigeria where we are now, number one, we need to pray for Nigeria. Number two, we need to do whatever thing that we need to do on our own.
Yeah.
Because what we are seeing in this country now, it is getting worse day by day. And we need to pray and we need to ask. And then, like a body, if after all this system, we can come together to ask, to organize programs, and then invite government people to come and listen to some of all these things that we are hearing. Because some of them, they didn't listen, they don't know all these things. Even when they go to their conference, they talk rubbish and nonsense, and then they don't hear all this kind of good things. They need to be invited to come and hear, or organize the program, tell them to collaborate with us so that we can give them some things to do. This country is not going the way it is going. And I pray that God will help us. Thank you, sir.
Amen.
In addition to that, what we need is total attitudinal change. We need total attitudinal change. Because you look at it, a situation where somebody, if you are not a thief, you cannot be given a chieftaincy title even in your village. There is one of our guy now that is in SSS custody at the moment. This guy has been looting, and he has been coming to the village to give, spread the money. Do you believe that everybody there, they were abusing, hailing him? But now that he has problems, they have all deserted him. So what we need is total attitudinal change. I believe that if we start now, God will help us. And individually, we can contribute our own quota.
Yes, I think I want to disagree, sir.
Yes, sir.
That if you don't have money or you are not a looter, you cannot maybe be honored. For example, in my own case, I've been honored with 2 traditional titles, one in Nigeria and one outside Nigeria, and they are both basically based on my performance on my job. I was sent for without even paying a kobo to anybody. So we can do things like you said. We need attitudinal change, but where it will come from, first and foremost, from our leaders. What are we looking for in this life? What exactly are we looking for in this life? You can never be what you have not blessed, whatever the case may be. Whether you defraud people, even beyond proportion, you cannot get beyond what is destined for you. Look at this issue of this Ospopi, or what's the name now?
Yes, Abbas.
Some other Nigerians living in that country and even in other parts of the world. I think IPMA should please be at the vanguard of a new Nigeria. Let us start whatever we can do now to prevent our people at our end.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let the change begins with us. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Abubakar. There should be a benchmark.
One house, please.
Hello.
Hello.
You can mute yourself, Mr. Abubakar.
All right, please, one house.
Hello.
Madam Guma, you have something to say?
Yes.
Okay, please hold on, sir. Okay. Please, this thing with Galaxy J1 Mini Prime. Please, if you can hear me. Okay, it's like his network is hanging over there. All right, over to you, Malam Gumel, please.
Thank you very much. I just want to start by appreciating all of you that bringing me to this wonderful family.
Thank you, sir.
I actually gain a lot from the lecture delivered by the registrar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I
sir.
highly appreciate it.
Thank
And
you,
I
sir.
will use all what I learned to improve in my work days.
Thank you, sir.
Secondly, I want to ask, when will the next lecture training going to take place? Is there any hope for us to have the same training this year or until next year?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have. Yeah.
We are going to communicate you. We have your contact already. So we have trainings coming up scheduled before the end of the year. It will still be by virtual presentation, because the way we are going, you can see that this thing is still very much around and it's increasing by the day. So no one wants to take a risk now. So at least from time to time, we'll send a pass message across to you. So you can join our Facebook page, group page, join our Twitter account. When you click IPMA Nigeria. So it's at IPMA _Nigeria. That's our Twitter account. So you belong there too. At least from time to time, as we are sending everything across, you will be getting updates from us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you all. So we are drawing closer to the end of the program. And before we take the closing prayer, I want to call on Latifa.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please, you were saying something about hello.
Hello, go ahead.
You're saying something about title, like maybe one will be given to us with IPMA, and another one for one strategic management, something like that from Ghana. I don't know.
No, that is okay. Go on, Abubakar.
Well, what I was emphasizing on then was the initials of the institute to be used, which is for those of you who are inducted as a member of.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
He's lost.
Hello, Fabino Ayodeji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So what I was talking about then was about the initials to be used as a member of the institute, because in the course of organizing our induction, those people who applied for membership of African Institute of Strategic Managers here through our office, we always bring them together whenever we are organizing training for IPMA intending members in order to carry everybody along, because our aim is to bridge the gap between managers and administrators across Africa, not just within the portions of Nigeria. So for those who are inducted for IPMA, you can use the IPMA initials, while those who are for African Institute of Strategic Managers can use the initials for African Institute of Strategic Managers. Meanwhile, the membership for IPMA is also open to those who came in for African Institute of Strategic Managers, while those who got the membership of Institute of Professional Managers also can seize the opportunity of being a member of African Institute of Strategic Managers. We are two different independent bodies, but we facilitate for them here in Nigeria. And the same qualification that qualifies you for IPMA can also qualify you for African Institute of Strategic Managers as well. So it's vice versa. Thank you. I want to believe that that is clear on that. So
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. It therefore mean that today now we are qualified for those the Nigeria and the African one today?
No, sir. You are getting just one certificate, which is that of either African or that of IPMA.
Okay.
Yes.
Where can we get the one for Africa?
Well, if you what will happen after this program, you can contact the person you have been in contact with, or better still, a message will be sent across to those of us who came in for Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators, and we want to seize the opportunity for African Institute of.
Let him contact the number with him.
Huh?
Let him contact the number with him.
Yes, or better still, you contact the number with you, or the number we use in sending you the link for this induction. Now you can contact that.
Sorry, sir, is that for me that after maybe we pay the membership fee for that one, we can still get the certificate?
Yes, if you are able to, if you can pay the fee for that one, you can still get the certificate, sir. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Hello,
So,
Mr.
Sir.
Here is Mohammed Umar, as I said earlier.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Everybody has already contributed, and I'm very, very happy with all, more especially what lecture received by the teacher. So we are very, very. So can I have any identity card? That's the question.
Well, as for the membership identity card, the institute is working on that now, because we have been receiving suggestions on that even before now. So it's still subject to deliberation at the council of the institute in order to issue membership identification card to all members with their certificate number. But while that is still subject to the council ratification, you're using the initials of the institute after writing your name either on your complimentary card or anywhere is also a sign that you are a member of the institute.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So
thank you very
we are now on the closing remarks.
Hello, Mr. Abubakar.
Sir.
My name is Emmanuel Chu.
Okay.
Hello, I will be very brief because I know we are already behind time.
Yes, sir.
I actually want to make suggestions.
Okay.
We actually, as a body, we need to really improve on some things.
Yes, sir.
The quality of our form, the quality of the receipt is actually not really befitting. When I took a look at our website, it was very catchy, and the quality is actually something we can give a thumbs up. But when I got the receipt for payment and I got the form to fill, the quality doesn't actually, align with, what I browsed on net. So I just want to suggest that we need to improve. In fact, I was actually skeptical. Is this really real, or, scam or something? So I would actually suggest that the quality of some of our documents should depict, what we represent. Because if the quality is, less than other membership or associations that we know, then some people will actually not be very confident to, participate or join the association. That's actually my humble suggestion. Thank you very much.
I think it's right, and whatever we are going to do should even start from the quality of the certificate presently, so that it will even showcase the institute to other people. You'll be proud to show whatever documents you are taking from the institute to other people who might be interested in joining.
Yeah,
thank you.
All right,
thank you very much.
That is taken, and we'll work on it as soon as possible. So on that note, we are now at the concluding part of this gathering. We are now at the concluding part of this gathering, and on that note, I would like to call on Latifa Yahya.
Sorry, sir, can I just make an appeal?
Okay, go ahead.
Please, is it possible to get the link of the recorded lecture with all your own supplementary talks.
No problem, sir. No problem.
All right.
After the meeting, we'll look into that, and if it's possible to send it across, we'll send the link to all of us.
Yeah,
Okay,
please do, because I will want to write a story out of it for my station, and I will want to take some voices of the registrar as my insert.
Okay, thank you.
We'll do that, sir. Thank you, sir. So, Madam Latifa Yaya, please give us a closing remark on behalf of all the newly inducted members. Thank you. Please unmute your microphone if you can hear me. And after the closing remark, Mr. Muhammad Umar, please get ready to give us the closing.
Members that got inducted today. On behalf of all the members, all of us, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And we hope that this, in addition to what we have for our credentials, that Allah will make it beneficial to us, and we'll have more members, so that at the end of the day, the institute can be chartered. So me, I just really want it to be chartered, as you mentioned. So thank everybody on behalf of all the inducted members. Thank you very much. It was a well organized, and the registrar really gave an explanation of the time management and everything. We've really got learned a lot from it, and we put it into practice in our various fields. Thank you very much, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma, and we are glad that we met your expectations.
Yeah, we did. Thank you.
All right, Muhammad Umar, please, if you can hear me, I want you to quickly give us the closing prayer. Okay, it's like it's lost in action. Madam Gumel, please, if you can hear me, sir, I need you to give us the closing prayer. Madam Gumel. All right, we don't have him as well. Hassan Ibn Atahir, please give us the closing prayer. Madam Hassan.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير عليهم ولا
آمين.
آمين.
وسلام على المرسلين والحمد
الحمد
لله
لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful closing prayer. And whatever we have gathered and learned here today be of use to us and to humanity and to the betterment of our organization. Once again, we say a big congratulations to all of you. And don't forget to stay safe, and may we all conquer COVID-19. And once again, if you want a year prosperity, you grow grace. If you want years prosperity, grow trees. If you want 100 years prosperity, grow people.
Grow human. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we carry on? Bye. Bye.
The pastor from the Redeem, we don't know your name, or we saw Galaxy Tab 200 or whatever.
Bye.
From Redeem.